Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Y'all are brewheads? Yeah, we brewheads. So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
What's good, y'all? This is Cee Certified Brewhead.
And I am Nathan from Nathan Does Beer.
And welcome to episode 197 of Beer and Other Shit, the podcast Adjunct series. I lost my flow there. How was that?
Yeah. Right? Yeah, you kind of changed it up, and
I don't know why.
Kind of messes with you, right?
I think it was as soon as you just get off myth, sometimes when you did that thing, sometimes you like
when I said that once again, and that just completely threw you off.
And once again I'm like, what happens? Yeah, it's crazy. Either Nathaniel, we got a banger tonight, mate.
Yes, we're back after a couple of weeks off, or at least since we last recorded. Yeah,
so that's why there was no episode this week. We're recording on the day we typically drop, and I was just in Montreal for a week, and prior to that you were in Eastern Quebec, so both of us were in Quebec, so unable to do some freshies, but this pod is actually coming from a town that you have a lot of ties to.
Yes, it is. Going back to my school stomping grounds.
Yes, so if we don't get to do this often enough, but we are both very passionate about beer bars and independent beer shops, and this place happens to be both.
Yes, and it's one of my favorites.
Yes, a place that I went to for the first time. We went together a couple of years back, and it absolutely lived up to the hype. Without going into it, the interior decor is iconic. If you see it, you know that's where it is, and it's a beautiful thing. So super excited to get into it. We got a fantastic lineup of beers and a lot of great stuff to talk about. So with that, here we go. All right, Nathaniel. Okay, we got this, folks. Oh, wait. There it is. Okay, please welcome Ben from Arabella Park in the building.
Yeah,
there he is, big fella.
Claptrap.
Look, yeah. What do you mean claptrap?
Yeah.
It's the live studio audience, Ben.
Sorry, I meant live audience. Yeah.
There you go. Welcome, my man. Great to see you. Thank you for hanging out, brother.
Yeah, good to see you guys too.
Hell yeah, appreciate it. Long time coming. I was in Kitchener in January with Rob from Shawfinger doing a blend for our 10th anniversary collab, which I guess is coming out soon. I'm not sure when he's dropping it, but it's going to be ready for the event in May. And afterwards, we went down and we met in person for the first time, and we realized that back in 2020, early 2020, we were talking about doing a live podcast ticketed event from Arabella, and with a couple of I think staff who'd probably left since it was quite like 5 years ago. And man, I was so vexed. I was really looking forward to that because you had this whole thing planned. I didn't really know anybody from Kitchener at the time as far as the brewery, so mate, real shame, but very happy to have you on the pod.
Yeah, bummer. Let's look forward and not backward.
I like that.
But that was a good idea. That was going to be something really cool. We did have something on the table there.
Yeah, it was a cool idea. No one really does that too much these days. We're only done them at like larger events, like festivals and stuff. But it's all good. We're making it happen now. Ben, you curated a phenomenal lineup of Ontario craft beer for this evening. Quite eclectic, and let's start with the banger right here.
Cool.
Boom.
Yeah, so I tried to span some styles, but Burdock.
Yeah, I think so.
Burdock Monday Saison. Yeah. What's it's M Saison. What is Micro Saison?
That's right. Yeah, you got
fermented in stainless with and can condition with wine yeast. Is it micro? 3.2. Okay.
Nice.
Because I've had Tuesday, but I didn't realize what this was. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I mean now it's all coming together right now in front of your eyes.
Right? Look what you're doing. Changing beer lives.
And look here, just for
a little
just for the
baby
occasion.
cousin to Tuesday.
Oh,
right.
Okay. Look at that glassware that Nate's got right there. Look at it.
Yeah, I don't. This is probably the most appropriate occasion I've had to use this glass since I bought it like 6 years ago, maybe.
You've outdone me, I think. I could have had a way better glass for this saison. I went IPA. This is Well,
there you go.
Okay.
It'll be okay, but yeah, it'll drink better.
So out of that one, perfect, right? The branded glassware for those who are listening and not watching. Nate had the Arabella Park glass. Why did you choose this particular beer?
I feel like I have a lot to say on that. One, just the love of Saison. I feel it's underappreciated, and I feel this one is done really well as far as flavor goes, and Brett character, and plurality, and hoppy presence, and carbonation.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't put this out so often, so every time I see it, I definitely pick it up, and I'm really happy to.
Okay.
And I just was hoping it wasn't something you guys had. You obviously have feet in the Ontario beer scene, so there was a possibility, but I was hoping not, because it's a bit of a one-off from them.
Well, it looks like they've only got 140 untapped check-ins, which isn't too many at all. So that's for a brewery like Burdock who's been around so long.
I would have figured more than that.
Yeah,
but yes, I haven't had it, so I'm excited to try it.
How often do they do it then?
I feel like the best way I can answer that is that this is the first time I've seen them put it out to recent memory in probably more than a year.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
I think it's special when it comes around. Anyone who likes like a lower ABV, super carbonated, micro bubbly. This is Brett-y, but not overly nasty farmhouse funky. But it gives you an insight into what that could be. I just think it's really well balanced. I think it's a great little beer.
Hell yeah! The pillowy meringue head is wild.
Yeah,
tons of like lemon zest on the nose.
For a while too.
I'm ready, gentlemen. Cheers. Get that in you. Well, that's a great pour, Nate. Delightful. Just so chill, good. So dry, eh? Mm-hmm. Bone dry. And then what is it? 3.2. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like so light.
3.2. Yeah.
Yeah. The main thing I'm
as much as you want, but it doesn't lack flavor at all. It's complex but small. I don't know. Burdock's really good at that. Burdock's really good at finesse, I would say, overall.
Definitely agreed, and particularly the wine yeast, like that's their whole vibe. They just kill it with that. Micro bubbles, absolutely. Super sharp carb, really bone dry body. It does actually, yeah. I did. Oh, hang on a second. No, Micro Saison fermented in stainless steel and can conditioned with wine yeast. Where the fuck did I see that?
Maybe you're recalling it from
Untapped
past promo material, because I'm recalling that too.
On Untapped, it says a higher carbonation, extremely refreshing, low ABV baby saison. So maybe that's what I just read and then didn't. I thought it was my own original thought. God damn it!
You should have tried harder to publish it that way.
God damn it! I let myself go every time. But no.
I think they tie different descriptions to the same beer per year they put it out. So maybe you're reading a description of it from a past year.
Someone,
but I remember it. I remember it being described that way too, and obviously it's still true when we taste this now. Some previous year or this year, that fact is still a fact.
Okay, I love that because it is like super sharply carb, which is absolutely on style for what it is. Like you said, it's not slacking in flavor. The body is actually fantastic for 3.2 as well. Tons of that bready funk.
I've not had one of those in a little while.
Yeah, this is a good choice, dude.
That's good. Yeah.
How does
this?
The
Saison thing. Oh, go ahead.
Please, you're gonna have a better comment than my question.
Yeah, the Saison thing is so hard to like drill down. Sometimes there's people who, I think always there's people who love it, exist, and are always drinking it, but it's such a small piece of the pie. And I wish that piece of the pie was bigger, and maybe all of us can help to make that slice a little larger. But I just don't understand why more people don't like it.
Right.
It's so good. Like at the bar, there's like 2 dedicated lines to Saison, and I keep it that way, even though people could happily be drinking, an IPA on that line instead of a Saison or something, some adjunct IPA. Like there's ways that it could balance if it wasn't Saison, but I just feel like 2 is the absolute minimum to as a beer bar be equitable to styles of beer.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just the slowest moving style, like hands down, bar none. And it's just a little heartbreaking, and I don't understand it. And there's occasionally times where you find people sampling stuff, and there's similarities in what they're trying, and then you get them onto a saison, like if they're coming off a Belgian wit beer or something, and you're like, oh, now you're into something like Monday. Great. Hope I've converted you forever. Now you know what Brett Saison is or can be. Please remember that and take it with you everywhere you go, and keep drinking this forever, just because it does feel so underrated, and or people get like scared of it because it can be somewhat off-putting to perhaps an average beer drinking person who's grown up with something completely different their whole life. But
I think that's
I don't know. There's room
only
for more people.
I definitely agree that there's room for a lot more people. And as you're saying, like, why don't people dig it? I typically never liked this style of beer because a lot of the versions
it took me a while too.
Was there a particular reason? Like that it did take you a while, you think? You can say.
I mean, general answer, it just wasn't something my palate agreed with.
Okay.
More specific answer, we did way early on, a tap takeover with Bellwoods, and they had a beer that I believe was called Farmhouse Classic.
Okay.
And it was a Brett Saison. And this was like very early on, and Arabella opened up a lot to me in the craft beer world. That style specifically, I had never had an example of that tasted that way, which was very funky, very earthy, very reductive. And I was like, why the fuck would anyone enjoy drinking this? It was an off-putting experience. There was a number of good experiences after that, just like opened my mind and world to the expanse of what that style can taste like. And over time, you have more examples and you find out what you like and you continue going down those paths. But in that moment, I was like, this doesn't taste good to me.
Yeah.
And then over time, with more examples, you come to find what does taste good to you, and you get more interested and you dive, and then things change and your palate changes and you get comfortable with different things. But that was the reason in the beginning that I was just like, no thanks.
It's I think it can definitely be hard to come back around to a style after an experience like that. And I had one very similar, thinking back to like 2015, 2016. I had Northfield Saison from Dominion City, and that is very similarly as you just described. It's like a very like super like heady bready kind of thing. So super deep, earthy, funky farmhouse, like really just kind of like punches you in the back of the palate sort of thing. Like it doesn't taste like horseradish, but if you picture what horseradish does on your palate, like it's the same kind of shock to the palate if you're not really expecting that kind of strength of Brett is kind of the way that I think about it. And I similarly had a hard time coming back around to saisons for a little while after that.
Yeah. And it's such a broad category. People can either have experiences like we did and fuck off forever and never come back, or maybe find something in the intermediary and reintroduce themselves down the road, but a shorter down the road. And hopefully that's the case, but it isn't always. But yeah, Northfield now is like one of the best representations in that style.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
I just used to hate it, and now it's like one of my favorite things.
That's awesome.
Do you think too that like another reason that they're such slow movers might be that like especially at an establishment like yours where you've got like such broad selection, and with the like with IPAs being as popular as they are, like particularly haze being as popular as they are, for the folks that are a fan of that style, if they've got something they haven't tried before, it's kind of hard to get them to try to try one of the two saison taps when they're when they're kind of looking to try that, like the haze that they haven't that they haven't tried yet.
It's almost impossible.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be, I don't know, asking someone to choose something to eat that isn't their favorite food when their favorite food's right in front of them. Almost, they're like committed.
Yeah,
Right.
And brewers obviously know that and are passionate about making it, so it gets pumped out all the time. So the person that wants to drink the hazy thing has so many new options lined up forever that they don't have to care about other things, and they never try new things almost.
Yeah.
And it's like fine enough to know what you like and keep going back to it. But yeah, it would be nice if what you just said, Nate, like came true one day, where someone just walked up to the bar and was like, I'm interested in trying something I've never had before. And then I could say, oh my God, you know,
Like, what's happening here?
maybe one day.
Maybe one day, and you know what? I'm guilty of it too. So I can't even judge, because I'm definitely guilty of it too. But yeah, it would be good to see for sure. Like the fact that you put this in front of us tonight is just an absolute pleasure, because it's not one that I probably would have reached for on my own. But now the fact that I'm drinking it, I'm really glad I am.
Great call. That's exactly what it is. The best way I found around this was Barrel Heart existing. And
yes.
Barrel Heart's 20 minutes from here. So if I go to Barrel Heart, I have no choice but to drink Farmhouse. And that's the brewery I've been to the most if I look over the last 12 months, like by far. Because
Is that convenience?
One is convenience. Two, obviously, I know Mark and Elaine. But three, it's an exceptional experience. Like the food program, which I haven't been back since they launched it. But they always had great pop-ups and stuff. But it was always like slow poured. I always start with Feral Heart, which is their funky, the farmhouse lager. Beer. It's impeccable, right? Like it's the lager collab with Fairweather, and then you can just go and explore whether you want fruited farmhouse or some more, like the farmhouse Nia type of stuff, where they're just like single hop stuff. It's genuinely the only way, and like for to do it. Or I always try and do it on like a special occasion. If it's like New Year's or my birthday, I'll see what I got in the cellar and I'll bust out like something sick that I can drink and then just really appreciate it. So it's like you almost have to either special occasion or a place like Barrel Heart to go to, or the fact that you've got that line there, at least it's the option, and maybe there could be things you could do where it's like pairing options or something else to encourage like people to give it a try.
Yeah, man, Barrel Heart is they're doing it. They're like, Mark's great. He's one of the most passionate. Well, he's a very passionate person. Anyone who decides to exclusively make barrel-aged saison is going to be passionate about it. They have to be.
Big time.
Yeah, there's a few others within the industry that have come and gone that I'm sure we're all aware of. But he does such a good job. And I've not been to that location yet, but from the email newsletters I receive and the pictures I've seen, I imagine like being there is pretty special.
Beautiful space, but it's cool. Yes, it's definitely like so how, maybe a better question is not, rather than I was going to say how do you get people to drink this stuff, is more who's the current consumer of this beer, would you say? I know it's a pretty like vague question, but is there any sort of like commonalities that you notice? Is it a particular demographic, or a person who typically has this kind of food would do it, or on Mondays they sell better? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I wouldn't say it ties much with food. Obviously it can, but we get a fair amount of beer nerds coming through, and they're just generally people that know what they like to drink. And if they see a saison in certain occasions, a funky Brett saison, like that's just what they know they like to drink. Like the same way we were talking about haze lords and those who just follow it forever and want the newest best in that category. There are people that just want something funky and bready all the time. It's, I mean, tying back to what we started talking about, it's just a smaller piece of the pie, but we do get those people through, and that's why I feel committed to keeping at least 2 saison lines. But yeah, the people that drink it most often are the people that know they like it.
Right.
And I appreciate those people coming through.
Of course. So there's not a lot of new saison drinkers rolling the dice, be like, hey, what's this saison stuff or whatever? Like, there's not.
Oh yeah, very rarely. But there have been pretty good occasions where I've shown the direction to, someone like our mom's age who's interested in something fruity and citrusy and light and things like this, typical descriptors that you might just like not really give the time of day to if you're busy behind the bar. But saison can often fit that description. So you might pour them an ounce and they try it and they don't know that they're drinking what we're drinking and the complexities behind it and all the details we've just spoken about, but they just sip it and their first reaction is like, oh, I like that. There's been moments where, it's not my mom, but it could easily be my mom on the other side of the bar where I've had that experience. And that feels kind of wonderful. If you can convert someone like that, or at least expose to someone who might now drink that again and appreciate it in a way they never would have realized they could if not having that little 1 ounce sip and bit of conversation at the bar. Like, that's pretty cool.
I like that. Do you give, like, I guess that's something that you do, like, you give, like, samples to people so they can give it a little splash to see if they like it before committing? Yeah.
Yeah. We're open to that. I know some beer bars have a no sampling policy, and to be honest, I can fully understand why. It can get a little daunting or time consuming when people just try to sample so many things before committing. What's frustrating is if they then commit to like a 5 ounce glass, because we pour anything in a 5 ounce glass. So that's kind of the point of the 5 ounce glass, is you can just get as many of those as you want to try the beers. So never mind these half ounce samples you're asking for free.
Yeah, that's a fair point. In 5 ounce, you can sort of, like, even the little splash isn't always like enough to really tell.
Oh, it's not enough at all. It's not.
Yeah, it's
like you gotta sit down with it for a little bit.
Yeah,
build a bit of a relationship.
Just a touch, just a little touch. Well, I love it. I think this was a great way to kick it off. Let's get into the story. I'd love to get into that. So how did you personally get into beer, and then how did that lead to the bar?
This is a big one. Where are you guys on your glass?
Oh,
should we crack the next before? Just a question.
Okay, maybe it is a bit more loaded. Is there more we want to talk? Okay, we could pause that one and come back to it if we're in like 5 minutes time. Then is there any more? Because we could keep going down the saison line. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Okay,
let's tap dance on saisons for another 5 minutes.
Okay.
I like that. Well, it's not even difficult. So aside from the Burdock stuff, then like what saisons do you typically serve? Is there particularly obviously, or even just from particular breweries? Because obviously the same ones aren't always around.
Yeah, you're right. There is a lot more to talk about there. One, it's really hard to find. I think because breweries are aware that it doesn't sell well for them and not for beer bars, so they don't produce it that much. So having 2 lines sometimes is even like, I wouldn't say hard to fill, but compared to other styles, I might have to dig a little deeper to find some kegs to bring in that week.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the people that, I don't know, consistently do, like Bellwoods generally has something going on in a farmhouse department, Farmageddon or Grisette or Come Up May.
Picket
all
Fence.
of those are really good.
Picket
Fence. Which they do fruited versions of, but also release neutral versions of. Everyone just like throws fruit at beer often, and there is like that slice of the pie that we were talking about that enjoys Brett Saison before, the slice of pie that enjoys non-fruited Brett Saison is even smaller.
Yeah.
So I'm tying this back to the producers, and I think they obviously recognize that. So to find a neutral Brett Saison barrel aged or not is even harder. So yeah, when you do, you bring it in, and those that want to drink it, and it's there. But yeah, finding it is a little tricky sometimes.
Yeah. I'm trying to even, as you were sort of saying, I was like, I wonder, I'm trying to think of who else would regular. I mean, aside from someone like Barrow Hart, where they've hung their hat on it, you got Bellwoods,
Mm-hmm.
you got obviously Burdock. Who
Mhm.
else? Who I'm even just trying to think who else even has one that they drop occasionally. It's kind of escaping me. Oh, well, Valor from Tooth and Nail is a great one.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not Brett, but yeah.
It's
No.
not Brett. Yeah, I was just saying.
They call it classic
generally-
Saison. That's just.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. Within the style, yeah, there's Valor,
Mhm.
Merit, not regularly, but seasonally puts out Happy Place, which
true.
is their like Cab Franc Saison.
That's a good one.
That is delicious. They
They
do
have a
on
bunch
their
of those.
anniversary put out the name
Wild
is-
Years.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brett Saison on like
Yeah.
Muscat Grape, or has been Muscat in the past, which is always really good. Godspeed does yuzu. They're like Japanese
of course.
citrus Saison.
Yes, that's a great one too.
Exchange also
Oh yeah,
is a
Niagara on the
very
Lake.
reliable, funky barrel aged or not Saison producer.
Mhm.
Probably a little underrated. Not underrated. I think their beer is very credible. It's just not a name that everyone's aware of or familiar with. But to the people that exist within that slice of pie, if they drink Exchange's Brett Saisons, they're going to be happy.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, that's a good
Sun
point.
and Hill.
Oast.
Gotta
Oh,
say Sun
Sonnen,
and Hill.
yes. Sonnen, yes. Sonnen
Yeah.
definitely have their the bottle programs like is it No Worries or something like that?
Yeah, no worries. Nice.
Yeah.
A little spiffy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Standard back in the day.
yes. And Oast House has like I know they got like Bier de Gardes and stuff, and I'm pretty sure they do like the cork and cage
They do. Yeah. On
farmhouse
their
stuff.
750s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the big
It's a
jugs.
shame, and it's a shame that Stillfields already had to close their doors because they were all about that.
Yeah. Oh, Muse.
Muse,
Oh,
yeah.
Muse. Oh, we got to shout
Yeah.
out Muse there too. Yeah, for sure. Muse is on the board. Yeah, pretty frequently.
Dope. I've never been there. I was just hearing Troy Baxter from Badlands talk about that on GLB's pod today. I was listening to that, and he was talking about how fire that is out there. Apparently, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I've heard good
And
things.
you
I've not been there either, but
Yeah, it's pretty far.
yeah, they're sales reps in the area often enough, and keeps me up to date. And yeah, Misha's making really good beer, and
Hell yeah.
chooses to live in that small piece of the pie, which is
Hey, I respect.
I'm
that.
happy about. Yeah.
Good for them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like, look at us. We're struggling. I guess all of this is kind of illustrate, like at least in the province, like where we're kind of struggling to come up with much more than that. Oh, what's the one that fucking Matron does that used to be in the bottle, now it's in the can. It starts with F.
Oh,
We had it. You and me had it in the bottle
Yep.
at my house in Montreal, Nate, and then now it's in the cans.
yep, it's right on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Ben?
It's a saison.
Yeah, it's Forthright.
Oh, yes.
Look at this memory coming through today. Did I
Good
take a
for you.
nootropic or something? Fuck. I didn't. Yeah, that one. But I think it was more that when in the bottle it was kind of funky. And I think they kind of toned it down a little bit, to be a little more, I don't know, mellow. Some of the ones, and coming back to what we were saying earlier, I don't know if either of you guys had this, but I never liked saisons, even though I lived in Montreal for 10 years, and there's a lot out there in comparison. A lot of them were like that annoying clovey estery banana thing, which it just to me tasted like I don't know, cheap and nasty. I just didn't like it. And then I had like something like fire, like Hill Farmstead. I'm like, oh, or Val, and I'm like, oh, like
Yeah,
AUVAL, you know? Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, so this is what it is.
Yeah.
It's what it can be.
Mm-hmm.
I think each of those things are valid. We talked about valor.
That's a fair point.
That's
Yeah.
that's tooth and nails. They call it. I'm not even going to put it in quotes. Classic saison.
Mm-hmm.
The Belgian-y, clovey, estery, banana-y thing that
time.
applies. That's one
Yep.
side of the spectrum. This is the
Mm.
conversation I always love entering with people who say they hate farmhouse. It's like it's bigger than my arms can show on camera, like what it can be, what it can taste like, what you think you hate, what you know you want to avoid, and what you're
Yeah.
unaware of that you could like. Like it's so wide. It's applicable to you more than you know. You just haven't figured it out yet. It can't be that, borderline Belgian wheat beer thing, clove, white pepper, banana stuff. Classic Belgian Saison. That's how it happened. Saison DuPont, pretty big figurative thing in the process of where we are today with Saison. But then there is things like Hill Farmstead is a pinnacle of an example, and I don't know what you've had from them, but like Arthur and Anna, incredible, yeah. And I think those things are on par with, stuff that Son and Hill puts out in barrel aged bread saison programs. Like, I think Callum cares as much. Yeah, yeah.
That's big praise. That's fucking huge to say.
I would say it, man.
All right, let's go. I'm excited. I got to try him. I haven't had any of his saisons that I'm aware of. I had a bunch of his lagers that are absolutely impeccable. Just not.
Oh man. Okay. Really?
I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm just.
See, it's gonna if you are a member of that small slice of pie, and you've not had Son and Hill's like barrel aged saison program, anything, bump it higher on your list.
Okay.
Because I mean, that guy's just passionate about what he does, and he's a small. I'm saying he's had people come in and out on staff, but it's primarily him.
Right.
And he just gives so much of a fuck about that you taste it when you drink his beer.
Right. So essentially, he's doing incredible lagers and incredible farmhouses is primarily what he's doing. I think he busts out a couple little like low ABV pale ales and IPAs and stuff, if I'm not mistaken. But primarily, that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
I guess. Okay, I got to get off my ass and do it then. Cool. That's absolutely duly noted. But like, I got to be fair to the Barrel Heart are the ones that kind of put me back on and made me want to search them out more. And you know what? Like, I know I'm a bit of a dick, but I saw Stillfields were at Durand. Well, I fronted on it, but I Stillfields were always at Durand forever. And then as soon as they closed, I was like, oh fuck! I always knew I wanted to get up there. So then I got a couple bottles from Durand, and then we had it. My partner Tiffany and I had it on a pod, I think last year, and I was like, "Oh, this is fantastic! God damn it!" Because we were talking about like breweries that had closed, so we drank them and Barncat and all that stuff. And like, God damn, this was like so much better. I also haven't had Muse now. I just know who they are. Just haven't tried it either. So if that's such a big call though. That at the very least, you're saying the Callum stuff is that Hill Farmstead style of farmhouse, which is I think that's my personal preferred. And you would say that you'd call that like a Brett farmhouse.
I would.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, but there's so many degrees of how Brett can react in a beer and end up tasting. His is mild funk, florality. I always find that musty orchard fruit is often the best way to describe a lot of the stuff that he puts out. I would say that same thing about Hill Farmstead, with like this background of bright lemon peel acidity. It's not overly sour. It's like tart, but it's this balance, and it's just, I don't know, champagne-esque. It's kind of like Monday. Probably a little more complex than Monday because it's been in barrel for so long, but
gotcha. And this was
intended. They're good beers out there, man.
Crusher. All right, I love it. I'm here for it. So, how we feel? Next one, fellas. What do you reckon?
That was a rabbit hole of passion for saison there.
No, it was like I kind of cut it off a little early there got excited about the story, but I think that was important to get into.
Yeah, we're coming in hot with the saison advice tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. All right, so we're going to move into Lagertown right now.
Great.
Which one, brother?
I think we start pale first, which is Vienna Classic.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, Vienna
Classic?
Classic.
Oh, okay. So, since you're talking about which one we might do, we may. Do you think it's okay if I hold up both cans and give a bit of
Let's
a
do it.
shout to True History here?
Oh,
Let's do
please do.
What is so? What Ben has curated for us tonight includes one of our absolute favorites, True History from Toronto, and what we've got here are two different Vienna lagers. We've got the Vienna Classic, which they've dubbed Historical Vienna Lager, and I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, but Beisl Bier, what they've called
Yeah,
the
that's right.
Modern Vienna Lager, and this is reminding me of what they did in what they do back in the fall with their Sticks and Stones. The
Oh,
Mm.
Martin and the
Yes,
and
yes, with
Oktoberfest.
exactly. The Martin and the Oktoberfest, like two that they
I saw
released together, and like two two kind of like extremely specific like versions of very similar styles, and and because they're just so passionate and so deep into the lager verse that like they can make those distinctions clear between between two beers like that, and I just fucking love it. So thank you for getting these to us, because I'm very, very excited to get into these.
Fantastic. I'm glad they landed the way I hoped they would.
Can we pause for 1 sec?
Yeah.
Just 1 second. We're back.
And we're back.
Sorry, guys. Spilled some beer on the computer. Had to get it fixed. We're all good. Everything's happy right now. True
Sorted it
History.
out.
Sorted it out. True History,
History.
Vienna Classic Lager, historical lager.
Right. Right.
Where were
So
we?
we'll pour
Yes, I
this
think.
up.
Yes. So
Now pour with confidence.
yes, that's what I did this time. I was like,
I,
you know
I
what?
pour
No.
away from my computer.
I just try to put it in
That's
front of
smart.
the camera, and the camera's like right, like literally like right behind the computer. But I'm gonna have to be more Ben, less me. So the difference between a historical Vienna lager and a regular Vienna, do y'all know what's up? This is my first of hearing that there's two different types.
Right. I mean,
What's the
I'm happy to tackle this if anybody else doesn't want to.
Oh, I have no clue.
Please. I didn't see the specifics of this release yet, so go for it.
Sure. Yeah, I've learned a lot through listening to Adam and just seeing what True History does. Adam's the brewer at True History, for those just listening, I suppose.
And he's just fantastic. That guy is a fount of knowledge.
Yeah.
Totally. The way we were talking about Mark at Barrel Heart and the passion he has for barrel aged saison, or we can throw it back to Matt at Reverence when he did barrel aged saison and stuff like that. And then you bring it into the lager spectrum. Bim at Godspeed and anyone who's been on his team. Adam is the same degree of passion, and I've learned a lot through listening to him directly, conversations we've had. And last winter, if not the winter before, we put together some beer education nights with different styles and getting brewers from different breweries to come in and talk on the style. And
Okay.
True History was one on lager. And the topic of Vienna lager got brought up. And I, maybe like you, maybe like a lot of people, just knew Vienna lager to be an amber lager. And that is what we'll drink next, that Beisl Bier.
Mm-hmm.
But what he schooled me on was that that's not what a Vienna lager originally started out as. And I don't know how far it's going to date back. That's an Adam question. But it
1800s. I've got the post here. It says it was created in the 1800s by Anton Dreher.
Okay, right. With a specific grain that was obviously grown in Vienna. And I don't know how it transformed over the years, but what True History and Adam did was look back into how it was made then in the 1800s and try,
Right.
I think, and give it a bit of a rebirth, and by extension, re-educate people on what a Vienna lager is or was. I don't know what the appropriate word is there, but they've done both. I know he's got a very good connection with a maltster that's in the
Sugar Creek.
States. Yes, I think the owner of that place is named Caleb. I think him and Adam have a very good connection, and I assume both people have a very deep passion about historical styles of beer, obviously in True History's case, lager. So they primarily being Caleb at Sugar Creek, found a way to grow that heirloom variety that existed in Vienna in where is Sugar Creek? Whatever, in that state.
I'll tell
And
you.
then he malted it and shipped it to Toronto, and Adam got his hands on it and brewed this historical Vienna lager. So what it was then in the 1800s.
Right.
Which is an entire reintroduction to people who understood Vienna lager to be an amber lager and a malty thing. It's like, well, it didn't start that way.
Indiana.
Somehow it transformed along the way.
Okay.
And I can't speak on what that transition is or how it came to be, but that is a reality of, or that is an understanding of a Vienna lager nowadays. But it wasn't always that way. So they brewed this beer, they brewed a modern interpretation of it, and that's just really fucking cool to pay attention to both and bring people's attention to what it was, even if you had no idea about what it was, and now what it is. And hopefully that can deepen people's understanding and everyone can be more aware of the fact that Vienna lager can mean two different things. Depending on who's making it, depending on who that producer is and where they choose to put their attention on in terms of era of beer. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. A lot of research and work went into this.
I'm here for it. Gentlemen, Nate, I guess you're can you cheers?
Yep, I'm cheersing and just fixing my camera at the moment, so so go ahead and I'll go through.
Oh, you guys with the glassware.
Yeah, this is
I
Shasta
didn't think
Zenon.
about that much.
Well, we just happened to have a lot. We we're good friends with Dan at Zenon, and he takes care of us with all relevant glassware. This is I love this side. This is like the 300 ml glass. It's like the perfect, like if you get True History and you want to drink a whole bunch of this stuff and you want to try more rather than have larger pints. This is pretty sweet, dude. This is fascinating.
And this is the same one, BAOS branded.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I love these type of mugs. They're really cool. Huh?
Yeah, they're great.
Oh, I
this
feel
is
like
fascinating.
A sucker. I have one downstairs. God damn it.
Oh, we can wait. I already made you wait.
Okay.
If you want to get it,
I'll be back.
All right. we can chat amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
So this is fascinating.
Have you taken a sip already, or am I going to jump the gun on you?
No.
Okay.
You're good. It's very. I keep fucking spilling stuff tonight. Jesus, what is happening? It's really like. I feel like if you tried this blind, I don't know if you would say it was a Vienna. It's kind of, to me, the closest.
Oh, I certainly wouldn't.
It's like a Keller beer, I would say.
Yeah. That's an excellent call. That's that's probably the closest of what I would say it was, because
cloudy,
it doesn't look or taste like what I expect a Vienna lager to be, or at least the modern interpretation of it.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, and like we're just saying, Ben, that this is kind of feels like a Keller beer almost. Like if you drank this, blind, as far as like the cloudiness of it. Whereas often, if you say modern Vienna lager is probably mostly pretty clear.
Right.
It's definitely got that real, that almost like rye grain thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A little spicy, chewy almost.
Another thing, and I feel like this might have to do with their water, is that I notice a pretty prominent minerality in a lot of True History's lagers. And like with this one being quite as clean as it is, like that minerality comes through quite prominently, I find.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, minerality is an interesting. I was just thinking about that as you were saying it. Like, can you go say more on that? What about it specifically?
Not really, because I don't know the chemistry of it that well. I'm sure Adam could probably talk about that for like half an hour, but but it's a certain quality that I do that I do notice in their beers. Like I remember noticing that in that Sugar Creek Helles and in the and in the Rye Lager that that they did not so long ago. It's just something that seems to come up as a bit of a signature flavor in their beers to me. Or maybe it's just something that my palate is a little more sensitive to. Who knows?
No, I'd agree with you.
Yeah.
I taste what you're saying, I think, and it incorporates well with that. I don't know. They lager for a really long time, so
yeah,
it comes out very dry. It comes out very snappy. It comes out very crispy, and I have no idea what their water profile is, but I assume for sure it is a factor in this end result. And all those things, I think, just kind of intermingle well enough to get us to where we're tasting and what you're talking about. But yeah, I think, I don't know, he's just so precise.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure it's a combination of all the things that are involved in brewing beer.
Precise is a great word. I think that's
it's a good description for true history for sure.
Yeah. Oh man, this is fascinating. It's almost like I don't even know how to like take this as far as like it's like the closest I can see again. It's almost like a Keller beer, but there's other flavors going on. Like I guess this is such a unique like heritage malt that they've created or recreated.
I think I think
recreated. So it's this is fascinating.
Or at least transplanted.
Is that what it was? Like from Europe?
I think so. That's the best word I can use there? I think so. But yeah, I don't know. Is it taking you any specific reference point, place,
just
reminding you of things?
Keller beer is the main thing. Like,
yeah,
and I feel like even Keller beers aren't as malty as this, but that's the closest thing that I could compare it to. Like, yeah, it's fascinating. This is what it was originally. I wonder what the story is. I mean, maybe actually I pulled up the post, and his previous post was the one we're doing next. So that one might even have more information about that. Well, I guess we'll get to it there, but he might even talk more about why it's a modern Vienna lager, which is something that probably the only one that we've all drank that we're all used to. If we think of a Vienna, a modern,
we're much more familiar.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this is sick. We're like, as sort of we often say here, like, yeah, we're so fortunate to have these guys in Toronto and in Ontario. It's like just like nerding out over a style and hanging their hat, kind of in the same way we were talking about these other breweries that are doing it with Farmhouse, like Adam and Matt are doing it with Crispies. Yeah, so cool.
How are we so lucky?
Right? Yeah, no one's made a splash as big as this since Godspeed, I don't think.
Not that I can think of, not locally.
Yeah.
And it was, I remember them, they met my brother. He's worked at different breweries over the years, and Adam gave him they did like a contract, like a pale ale, I believe, maybe just before COVID or something like that, 2019, 2020. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was cool, but it was like nothing crazy.
And they dropped it. They dropped it because it was outside of the style that they cared about making and representing themselves as. They just said, fuck it, that's outside of our spectrum.
I think that's smart though. But I guess if you have that as the first time, your first exposure to the brand, you would not have expected them to go in this direction. And particularly this hard with only Luca's, like 2 Luca towers and like an Austrian restaurant inside of, It's,
totally.
The dedication is,
they
and
leaned
the mugs,
in so hard.
Doug, crazy. And the vibe, like Nate went there not too long before. I only went maybe a month ago, and Nate went not too long before me. So we were both pretty new-ish going there finally. And it's such a vibe. It's a really great space, man.
It's fantastic.
It
Such a
transports
cool-
you.
It really does.
Yeah.
It's
Man, can I tell a story?
Please.
If you don't, I'll be upset.
There was years back, like many pre-COVID years. I was working in sales for Folly Brewing. I was a sales rep for them for a little bit. This is probably 2019-ish.
Okay.
And I was dropping a keg at Brooks' house, and there was a dude named Bola there who was repping something else at the time, but he had Adam with him. And I was going back to my car. We were out. All of us were just out on the street, kind of shaking hands, exchanging some pleasantries and stuff. And True History was contract brewing at the time. I don't remember where out of, but they threw me some cans, and I didn't think anything.
I think.
Probably, yeah, in Toronto. Why wouldn't it be?
Makes sense.
And I didn't think anything of it. Like, that was just a new name that didn't really have a reason for me to pay attention to at the time. But that is when I first met Adam. And that just like went way back in the depths of my brain until I met him again when he was at True History. And he reminded me of this interaction him and I had that I just said to you. And I was like, oh man, I fucking didn't give you the time of day then. And I feel like such a dick because you're doing such fantastic things now. And I should have paid more attention. But I think his beer then, it was like a dry hop pilsner. It was called Farmer's God or Farmer in the Sky.
Yeah.
Farmer in the Sky, yeah. And I remember drinking it, and I think it was good enough. But it feels likely that even Adam would say that wasn't exactly what he wanted to be making then.
No.
It was just an entry point. But it's just crazy to have met him then on a street in Hamilton, starting out and getting his name out there and doing it from the ground up the best way he knew how, to now True History, one of the like biggest wake makers in the lager world, like we all agreed on since Godspeed, I think. So they've just come a long way, and the passion has been exposed along the way. And if anybody out there that's in the love of lager world isn't paying attention to them, you should start.
You're missing out. Yeah, you
100%.
absolutely need to start. I think it's even like a cooler story though for them that they went from sort of contracting stuff that's fine, because contracted beer for the most part is fine. It does the sort of trip. It's very rarely like, yo, fucking amazing. Like, and just to be able to take that brand that they out here building and turn it into this is like beautiful thing, man. It's very cool. I'm super happy for them. The success is well deserved, and the recognition is growing, and it's like a feather in the hat once again of the Ontario beer scene, and it gives something else to be proud about. Like, yeah, man, these guys are from here. Fuck yeah, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
It's so cool. How often? I'm obviously you're stocking the cans at the bar. Do you often have you have them on tap a lot?
Oh yeah, as frequently as I can, man. Yeah, there's producers out there that are doing it so well that it's hard not to buy from all the time. That might impede the otherwise rotational sentiment of the wall.
Yeah,
just because they're doing it so well, it's just like, well, this is the best, so why wouldn't I order that again? So yeah, we get them on tap for sure. Again, as often as I can. It's nice when summer rolls around and there's just a lot more volume, which obviously means more beer to buy and beer to sell. There's just more room for more things, so I get to buy from them more frequently, which is good. Because, like I said, I don't think they're in the upper echelon of people that are doing it super proper.
Yeah.
Get them in keg as often as you can. Their kegs, their cans. Yeah. Also, yeah, man, they're just someone I like to have on the tap list and bottle shop as frequently as I can, as far as lager game goes.
I love it.
I don't blame you.
No.
How
And
could you?
imagine. How could you? Go on, Nate.
How could you?
All I want to say was that Nate and I obviously were pretty damn excited when we saw not one but two true history beers in the
Extremely.
lineup, and we were like, "Fuck yes!" We already knew it was going to be a great pod, but I'm like,
Oh yeah.
it's
Yeah.
got extra special right now. Sorry, Nate. Just wanted to say that.
All right. So yeah, and now that we're 55 minutes in, maybe we should start talking about Arabella Park.
Oh, we're gonna need another one soon. That's the problem with these shortcuts. We can always pause the story
That's
for
funny.
the next one.
Fair. Yeah.
Let's start the
talking
story.
about beer in general is fun.
Yeah, right. Like, look, did I not joke earlier? I think off air, I was like, yeah, sometimes it's 45 minutes till we get to the story. We're 55 minutes. So
Look at us now.
Yeah. Nailed it. Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah. Those who
Talk
have
to
done
us.
it before were right.
They were indeed.
Oh,
Talk to us,
Arabella.
brother.
Okay. We start.
Or even and your personal story as well, how you got into beer.
Yes.
Like, talk us through your side and then the formation of the bar.
Okay. Those are
Please.
2 stories. Well, let me run a quick synopsis in my head here. How I got into beer. Hospitality was kind of always a non-intentional default things by the wayside while I was an undergrad. And then that turned into the realization that the the undergrad intentions weren't really going to work out. I was in there for religion and philosophy, which is totally fine enough, but teachers college was always kind of the end goal. And when I was graduating, it was the year that everybody else had the same idea. So the program became 2 years and it was more expensive. And then I looked into teaching abroad for a little while and kind of got cold feet to go to Korea to do something I've never done in my life before, and was working hospitality all the while. So that was like keeping me afloat. And then I ended up in some restaurants in the city, front of house, back of house at one, front of house at another, and then bar management at that one, which was cool for a while. And I learned a fair bit, or at least got exposed to a fair bit. And then I saw, actually via my friend sent me the link for Arabella. It was opening up and they were looking for bartenders, and the friend that sent that to me knew that I was very interested in craft beer. So to speak a little more to that along the way, I don't know, man, going back to high school, it was like seeing my dad drink Old Speckled Hen, or my girlfriend's father at the time had English parents, and there was Beck or Lowenbrau or, insert European beer here. Just something that gave the insight that there was more out there than the macro shit that you were down at parties for the wrong reasons.
That's cool.
So that was kind of the insight that other things existed. And then at those restaurants along the way, there was like small portions of introductions to craft beer, specifically at the restaurant I was at before Arabella. It was just like 8 taps, but it had a pretty strong focus on craft beer, pretty hyper local stuff. And that is where I thought I gained some knowledge. And perhaps that was a decent base, but then Arabella was opening up and I applied and eventually got the job. I started out as a bartender. There was someone else doing the job that I now have. And that just opened the world of craft beer up, way up. Like internationally, I guess. Like hyperlocal was kind of a buzzword at the time and it mattered. So that is what I found myself caring about. And there was a lot of exposure and styles there for sure. But then you get into Arabella and you find things like at the time, there was a lot of import agencies that were bringing in kegs. Not a lot, but some. So we had kegs from like Trou de Diable and De Ciel. And there was Succubus on at a time from Trou de Diable. And Aphrodisiac was on.
Nice.
12 Musketeers was on. The Saison bread. So it's like whatever I thought I knew was, continued to be relevant about my hyper local beer scene, but there was just an entry point into a world that was much bigger of beer. And that's when I got real humbled and figured out that there was a whole lot more I didn't know as much as I thought I did. So through continuing to work there, more exposure, more sampling things. Like Arabella's always had, I guess, a staff buying program. So like any can that we have, you can buy at cost, take it home, try it, with the intention being to be able to have an opinion on it once you try it. So I did that, tried a lot of things I never had before, most things I had never had before. So that gains you some knowledge and exposure and experience, and you form opinions. Same can be said of the wall. You get, those offered a free pint to staff after work, as well as a meal. So all of these are ways to gain you greater exposure to the beers that exist. And through that, I learned a lot. And you talk peer-to-peer, and you talk with people that are, on the other side of the bar, that for sure there are some that know more than you, and you realize that quite quickly. Like if you come to them like you know more than them, they'll kind of put you in place pretty fast. Which I kind of learned early on, which was fine, which is a fine enough way to do it. Like get shut down and realize what you don't know. And I learned from guests. I learned from people around me. And, that was 8 years ago. And there was someone that was doing the job I have before me. I learned from him a whole bunch. He's now at Bellwoods. Got some ownership under my belt 3 years ago. So I've continued to do my best to grow the beverage program that we have, offer those same things to staff, offer those same learning experiences to staff, have as many conversations as possible to continue the education with staff, as well as guests, rotate the beer program as much as always. It's just something I'm passionate about, so it feels to me like it comes easy, and I'm happy to be the one responsible for it. And it seems like it's going pretty well. That's me. And then the bar. So the founder, her name's Natalie Schnurr. She has some ties with an investor in Stillwell in Halifax, which I think all three of us are probably aware of.
Yes, I was just looking up I was told that the board is inspired by Stillwell.
Totally. Yeah. So there's some familial ties between Nat and some investors in Stillwell, and that is kind of what got the whole ball rolling.
Gotcha.
Shortest story is that investors in Stillwell became investors and consulting partners on Arabella, and totally designed the concept, influenced the layout, influenced the food program. Like in the opening months that Arabella was being constructed, they were all here. They all had their hands in the pot. They were all helping it reach its final stage. So that was the before open date, and then open date happened, and we had a cellarman before me who was flown in from Halifax. He lived in Halifax, visited the Stillwell very frequently, and then was kind of put forward by some of those owners of Stillwell to be the cellarman or beer buyer of Arabella, because the Stillwell people were investors and they knew him really well because he just sat at the bar all the time and asked the right questions, and they got a good impression. So that altogether is kind of what got Arabella off the ground conceptually.
What year did they open?
2017.
Okay. Sick.
So we turned 8 in December.
That's dope. I didn't realize it. I thought the board was just inspired by Stillwell. I didn't know there was like a direct tie.
Yeah, yeah, there's
That's gangster.
there
like
is
that.
connection.
And
Yeah,
Okay.
it feels good.
and I've been to Stillwell as well, and the vibe is the vibe is very similar. It's
yeah.
a bit different
Yeah.
because Stillwell is a bit darker,
Yeah, yeah.
and you know, like the board is like a blackish brown as opposed to the blue and like the bright white like tables and everything. So like it's a bit
Mhm.
darker in Stillwell, but it's still but it still feels very very similar. It's like a different twist on the same vibe.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like more pubby,
Yeah.
it seems like.
Yeah.
As opposed to sort of like Arabella's more modern, from what I can tell.
I guess so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Like
think that was
just in kind of like even really just in the lighting. Like I wouldn't say that Stillwell is pubby in its like decor or anything
it's
like that.
moody.
Maybe more just in atmosphere. But
Yeah,
Understood.
yeah,
I'd agree. The lights kind of hug you a little bit.
Yeah,
exactly.
moody, nice vibes, dark little
Mhm.
moody vibes. Okay, that's
Mhm.
sick.
But man, they've got what is it called? Stillwell Freehouse, which is
What is
like
that?
the English pub inspired other location that they now have. I don't remember
Oh,
when
cool.
they opened it, but
So well.
yeah, they've got that location. They
Okay,
have a
totally
brewery
different
of
vibe.
their own now, and they
Really?
have always had like a summer location that is outdoors and patio,
Mhm.
strictly outdoor patio, beer garden, gravel floor, beer garden tables. They've got a sea can with food and the bar,
That's sick.
either one of those or two of those for each. But yeah, when I first went out there, it was just the like HQ on Barrington Street, and they had their
Yeah,
seasonal.
Barrington.
Yeah, you know it.
That's my dog's name.
Oh, okay. Also, a street in Halifax that still holds on.
Gang, I like that. We have to go there.
Cool. You must. You could probably bring your dog to their outdoor patio location.
Wow.
So I
we
think
take
it
him
was
everywhere.
those
That's cool.
two that existed solely for a long while, and then Chris, one of the owners, who's I correct me if I'm wrong, anybody that might be listening from Stillwell, but like dude who always like had the most passion about the production side of beer, spearheaded opening a Stillwell brewery, and that's existed for a while now. I think they either have or initially started out in a space behind Propeller, and then opened
Shit.
Stillwell Freehouse, which is like a very. I'm saying all this because the Freehouse is, to my understanding, a very English-inspired pub vibe that they've got going on, like Cask Ale and Real Ale being sort of the prominent focus that they have. And I just imagined like kind of dark, moody lighting and carpets and hardwood and shit like that. I haven't been yet, but that's what started me on that tangent.
Hell yeah.
Right.
I'm looking at the Stillwell Brewery. It looks like they do Pilsner, Best Bitter, like Tamavi, West Coast Pale Ale, and a Cream Ale. So it's sort of
Right.
definitely in that like crispy blend.
Pretty like traditional stuff, right?
Yeah, which is kind of fitting. I like that a lot.
So-
Wow, that's really cool. What a
Yeah.
what a dope little situation. I gotta get to Halifax, bro. Fuck, let's go.
Yeah, I feel lucky. A really good friend of mine moved out there like towards the end of COVID, and as a gift from my partner, a year ago, Christmas, year and a half ago, Christmas, 2 Christmases ago. She's like,
There
"We're
you
gonna go to Halifax because one of my best friends moved there." Anyways, all this to say, we're going out next Saturday, and I've never been to the Freehouse, so I'll check it out. And let you
Oh,
know.
nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Is this
Yeah.
a good time to transition to the next beer? And then we can
I think
keep going?
so.
It's the
And we keep
best.
getting digging more into Arabella's story. So we're doing to the Beisl Bier, the modern Vienna lager, and old mates at True History. Come on there. There you go. Come on, big dog. There you go. Come on now. Come on. There
Focus,
you
focus.
go. Come on. Flipping cameras. glorious. Okay, so this one, let's just run by the Instagram here. Okay, so it was based. They were both brewed for their Beisl, their restaurant, or Basil. How'd you say it, Nate? You said it good before.
I said basil, but I don't know if that's correct.
You said it like more German than that, or more Austrian than that, Arnie. But I respect it. Okay, also it means bistro. And okay, boom, boom, boom. Okay, so this is their new beer, their modern Vienna lager, also using the Sugar Creek malt co from Indiana. It's extensive decoction mash, very long conditioning time. It meant to emulate the modern day Vienna lagers. You'll find them at the bistros above. And that's really all there is to it, according to Uncle Adam. He's hilarious. I also want to shout out Adam's tasty notes. They're hilarious. That's a good color. That color there you just showed, Ben, is really different.
Yeah,
That's even like lighter than the modern Vienna lager, I think.
I would argue so.
a lot of
good
modern,
for them. If they're trying to reframe all of it, do it. That's a
I feel like
huge
on
undertaking,
camera,
but like
it looks way darker than it does in real life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Like
true. It actually looks like quite more copper than
Yeah.
like in person than it does on screen.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, it's kind of a light coppery thing.
Yeah, the but certainly darker than the Vienna Classic, which is cool.
By far.
I know I fuck with this stuff. This kind of reminds me of, I know it's like completely sort of different, but you know, was it Black Creek? You know, the one who made the historic beers from, like, here's a Canadian pale ale from 1812 and shit. You know what I'm saying? Is it Black Creek Historic Brewery?
I know what you're thinking of.
They had them at the LCBO. Those little green labels.
Yes. I know which one you're thinking of.
But they did a bunch of them. It wasn't just one. They had like tons. Is it Black Creek? Is that the one?
I feel like it might be.
I think that might be right. Yeah.
And I think it's where Sawdust originally started out of, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway.
You're right. Black Creek Historic Brewery.
Look at me. I really feel like, honestly, I have such a bad memory. But
you're clicking today, bro.
I'm so tired. It's been so much because of this anniversary. I'm really surprised that works. All the technology, not so much.
Whoa.
Brain, killing it. Fuck, let's go,
Deep
boys.
depths. You got it. You got it. You're doing it.
Gentlemen.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Get that in you. Cheers to Kitchener. God damn it. Okay. Definitely on the palate, absolutely what you would be expecting. That classic roasty, much more malty, Vienna lager, caramel, kind of like toffee.
Yep.
What else we getting here?
Yeah, I'm saying honey malt kind of thing.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
It's like you fucking owned a beer bar or something. God damn, let's go.
Kind of sort of.
And you know what though? Like even though it definitely has like those sweeter and more prominent malt characteristics than the Vienna Classic, it still has like such an extreme level of true history refinement to it that it's still quite delicate and and complex. Like it's not coming off like very like sticky sweet or chewy. It's more like it is quite refined and still complex, and it's sweet but also not not overpowering. Like you don't necessarily think like, oh, this is so sweet. Like it's kind of like just right in the level that it's adding. I'm trying not to use the same word like 3 or 4 times in a row, but y'all know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like you might mid palate pick out some toffee pudding.
Yeah.
But by 3 seconds after you swallow it, it's pretty dry. And I'm recognizing what you said earlier, Nate, about whether it be their water profile or how long they lager or some combination of both of those things. But like that sort of minerality is still kind of there, and that dry finish is still there. And it expresses malt characteristic very well on a spectrum of like, sweet toffee pudding, raisinated stuff mid palate, but by the time you swallow, it's like pretty clean and dry, and there is almost a hoppy bitterness that says hello as well.
Just a quick gimmick.
Damn,
just
you
a quick
explained
hint.
that so
Yeah.
well.
Did I?
Toffee pudding on the mid, like toffee pudding on the mid palate that that dries out on the finish. That is poetry right there.
I'm actually quoting you for my review. Toffee pudding on the mid palate.
Cool. Yeah. Someone write that down.
I'm writing it down right now, and it's also captured on audio and video for the whole entire world to see.
Or else.
This is fucking
Don't
fantastic.
worry, it's just on the internet.
It's just on the internet. It's not forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is so good.
Yeah, and this is
Yeah,
really
but
fun
how
to have
cool
back
of
to
them
back.
to release just the back-to-back. Yeah, the back-to-back thing. They're smart.
Oh, I
They're so
love how
fucking
they
smart.
do shit like this.
As Nate said,
like this.
Two of the best beers. When was it? I think it was. We got them on the pod in a few weeks, but in 2 years ago.
Sweet.
Well, 'cause I think we did the pod
it was
20
like October 2023, I think.
perfect. That's why we had it, and that Sticks and Stones, the Fest beer and the Marzen, and having them side by side. Good Lord, it was just, it's such a
What an
cool
experience.
thing. Oh, it's beautiful. Like, God, we were pretty lit. And it's only 6 short cans, so I think we got pretty fucked up. They just so like, oh man, the beers is such a great call doing this, man, because I feel like I was like, oh, Two True History, you could have done that, but I didn't realize I didn't really look into it too much, and like I was happy about it, but I was like, oh, I wonder why. Like, you could have. This made so much sense to do it this way to showcase this side by side thing.
It would have been a sin to only do one of them.
How would you have chosen?
I would do 0 if I had to do that.
Good answer. Good
Yeah,
answer.
there's no way. Yeah.
It's fantastic, man. I love it.
Yeah.
This is brilliant. I know we sort of like hopped on this a lot
So
last time, so I don't want to stick on it too long. But is there anything else we want to say about these beers as far as the True History stuff before we go back to the Arabella stuff? Aside that they're fucking legends and the beers are exceptional and we all want to hug them a lot.
That. I mean,
Yep.
I haven't talked to them directly about the inspiration behind these things, but I've only read the same thing you did on their Instagram post. But it seems to be, and I think that this deserves a bit of a shout out, like it was because of the anniversary of their kitchen that
Yes,
they
correct.
released these things. Right.
Yes. Called
So,
Basil.
right. So the fact that they've got like a Viennese food program going, and then they release a beer to celebrate the food program's anniversary and not the brewery's anniversary. I just think that like it deserves a bit of attention paid. Insofar as it adds that much more to the overall experience of anyone who's going to go there and walks in. And like, Nate, you've been there. See, you haven't been there.
I went there
the wall.
a month ago, yeah.
Oh, sorry, you recently went there. So like
Yes.
the wallpaper, when you walk in there, it's just like, whose demented grandma's house am I in kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you think about it a little bit more, and it's like, oh yeah, this is a bit of a nod to a log cabin that I might be in some mountain in and around Czechia or anywhere close to. And it just kind of sets in and makes sense. And you start to appreciate what they're doing. And the food's a huge part of that.
Yeah.
And they're celebrating the anniversary of their kitchen, not their opening, not the business's beginning, the kitchen's beginning. And I think specifically when they started getting the food programming on track with the styles of beer that they do.
That was a big thing for them. I think there were snacks up until
Yeah,
then.
Right. It was something that wasn't like as thoughtful or didn't have as much.
They were looking for the people, from what I understand. Even 2 years
they
ago,
were trying to fill a void, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they did at a point, and it's been a year, and they're celebrating that. I think that just really adds to how specific they are, how oriented they are around all the elements that are involved in the whole vision. And all I'm saying is, like, kudos to them to celebrate the anniversary of a kitchen that's doing the food that you think complements the beer you're making the best, and then brewing beer to celebrate the anniversary of the people that are making that food. That, to me, is pretty fucking cool. It's pretty fucking specific. I think it speaks to the passion of the overall picture that stems from the beer they're making, but also extends to things that complement the beer. Yeah, I don't know. I think these guys are just thinkers.
I love that. Well said, man. It's a
Absolutely.
beautiful thing, and the food is also amazing. I only had a couple things, but it was phenomenal. Oh, kitty! By the way, cats
Sorry.
and dogs are always don't apologize. People always
Oh, yeah?
apologize for their pets. I think it's that we're a pet and child free friendly podcast.
All right,
So
we'll see if he comes back.
yeah, if he wants to come back, he's welcome to come and chill. I think that's important.
Yeah.
So back to Arabella. I want to talk about Arabella because I feel like we've been talking about everything but as much. So the bar itself, right? So okay, so it was 2017, so 8 years. The scene in Kitchener, was Arabella the first true beer bar in the area? Were there other things popping? What's the vibes pre Arabella and when they opened?
Yeah, I mean, I was a part of Arabella in a way that I'm not a part of Arabella now. So I will talk about it differently. I think that I was attracted to it because it felt like it was going to be a place that did do something different. If I put stuff under a microscope, maybe I could make suggestions to you about other places that were doing things similar. But I don't think anybody was really doing anything that Arabella eventually did once it opened and established itself as a beer bar, gained a reputation, and gained trust of everybody that came through for the spot to go for beer. So 2017, quick answer, I don't think anybody else was doing that, at least not to the degree that Arabella eventually did. And anybody else that might have been similar, I just think we made a bigger splash and sort of stapled ourselves into the map instead of a little pin, probably.
I like that.
Yes, I don't know that. Yeah, 8 years ago.
Like, even what was the beer scene like then? For a beer bar to open, that means there must have been some sort of appetite for craft beer in the area.
Yeah, I think there was a decent sprinkle of an appetite for beer.
It was starting.
It was starting.
Who was around at the time?
In Kitchener.
Was Rob there?
Waterloo.
Yeah, and/or Waterloo. Was Rob there?
Was Rob there? Yes, but he, I think, opened 2015, but as a homebrew shop. So was he brewing then in 2017? I don't remember.
He told us, and I don't.
So a little bit. So a little bit for like not in Kitchener, but a little bit farther out in Cambridge. Barncat would have been going for a couple of years at that point.
That's a good point.
Arabella carried Barncat when we opened. Yes.
My first taste of Barncat was at Arabella. That was a memorable experience for me.
Oh, that's special.
Cool. Do you remember the beer?
It was 36-inch chain.
Oh, cool. They did that a number of times.
Yeah,
that was a double IPA. No,
it was.
And they had 18-inch chain for the single IPA.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Fuck, they were the best, man. God damn it! What a loss! What a loss.
But man, that's Cambridge. If we talk about Kitchener specifically, in 2017, what's coming to mind is Innocente, and beyond that, Descendants eventually. And yeah, Rob was doing his thing that eventually turned into a brewery. And like,
I say Rob, people know Shortfinger. What we're told about.
Sorry, Rob
okay.
Robert Cat Hearn of Shortfinger Brewing,
yes,
Kitchener, Ontario, Canada's only sci-fi punk brewery.
Shout out to Rob, man. He'd be happy to hear you say that.
Yeah. But that's, I don't know. There's not a lot of producers, but there's a lot of drinkers, I guess. There's a lot of surrounding areas for sure. Yeah, Cambridge, you say, Guelph and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, yeah, the beginning years, it felt hard. It wasn't me doing it, but I watched the person who was doing it before me do it, and it was hard to like bring cool shit in.
Why
And I
is that?
remember because logistics didn't exist.
Okay, like literally, it was hard to bring stuff in physically. Okay,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was more like,
just the simplest
people aren't really
understanding.
wanting it. Like, no,
No.
like literally, the vans weren't there. Like, yeah, okay, got it.
Totally. Yeah. I remember when we first had Jutsu on the wall, people went crazy. And
Oh,
I think that was an impression that lasted and made people love us as much as they continue to do today. I don't know, like you only get one chance to make first impressions, and I really do believe it'll last forever. And like to have something on draft on the wall written up, they could just look at it and be like, oh, it's those tiles are pretty big, so it's a bit of a glaring you in the face shining sort of sign. It's like, oh, I can order that on draft. And they could, and they couldn't before that. So that it was a splash, and it made a lasting impression, and it stayed. And so as much as it was always about representing local as much as you could, that the pool to choose from was pretty small, and it was cooler for the beer drinker to have something they couldn't readily get in their city on draft or in can. Eventually the bottle list expanded, but even then there was importers that were bringing in stuff from like Pohala and Tool and just these European breweries. That was totally unheard of. So like I think all that mattered when it came down to the lasting effects that we had.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, go on.
So we've talked a little bit about both at Arabella and at Stillwell, like kind of the wall and kind of that's one of the things that like that Arabella Park is known for.
Right.
For anyone who might not be like from the Kitchener area and might not be familiar with Arabella Park, do you think you could just describe the wall and kind of how that works?
Sure. So visually, when you walk in, your entry point would be opposite, quote unquote, the wall, which is the big blue wall. It's not floor to ceiling, but it's drip tray to ceiling, blue glass tiles that are marker friendly, glass marker friendly. So there's 2 rows of them that are 9 long, top and bottom. We have 18 tabs. That is our draft list. And the glass marker, because we bring in a single keg of each beer and something new replaces it every time that the previous keg runs out. It will often enough be a similar style, but it's a new brewery, new producer, new hop bill, malt bill, ABV, whatever. There's a structure, but for the most part, you'll have something replace the style that was on before it. And there's 18 taps, 16 of which are beer, 2 of which are ciders. We have 3 different temperature controlled fridges, which was a very cool design element to the opening of that bar. Essentially one that's at like 9, 6, and 3 degrees. The warmest, obviously, for darker beers, stouts and brown ales and lambics. The middle fridge at 6 is for IPA and saison and double IPA, and then the coldest is for pale ale and sour and lager and cider. So that's what's behind the wall. And then there is a bottle shop that you can now purchase from to bring home with you. One of 2 silver linings of COVID. So there is some sort of draw across windows that display all the cans and bottles that we have. Our website also hosts all the information and more detailed information on each can or bottle that is within that bottle shop. But you have a bit of a viewing window just beneath the bottom line of the glass tile. And then the taps are in between that. And that is your visual, friends.
If you want to see, look, Ben painted a picture. I would highly recommend you just Google Arabella Park, Kitchener, and see that goddamn wall for yourself. It's just so stunning, and it's so like the best word without hyperbole is like iconic. It's like I knew it in Montreal back in the day before I connected with anybody there for this. It was like something I'd heard about. You'd seen the word around, or you just seen the picture. Like, where is this? What the fuck? Like, it's the best of the best.
How sharp
beer.
does it look? Like,
oh, it's stunning. Like, it's even cooler in person. It's just like, wow, this is like, it's such a simple thing, and I guess that's the Stillwell influence. And just having that blue wall is like, I think one of the coolest things a business could do is have something that's maybe not gimmicky like that, because I wouldn't call that gimmicky at all, but like just sort of memorable and
focal point
and functional. Yeah.
Yeah.
Focal point. Yeah. It's like, it literally is the surface for which you have to stare at to order. And God, what a pleasure it is to stare at something attractive, to order some of the best beer that you could order.
And
It's
if I
highly
can,
curated.
yeah, and if I can paint a picture too, like I'm thinking back to that first visit that I had at Arabella Park. Like, I'd already had one beer. I've got my food in front of me, and I'm facing the wall. I see them wipe one square off. And I see them right in, and remember, this is someone who was excited about Barn Cat, but had never tasted them before, living in Ottawa, because it wasn't easy to get it outside of the brewery itself back then. And I see them right on the wall, Barn Cat, and I start getting so excited, like just right away. And I'm like, all right, I already know what my next beer is.
I didn't even care.
They write on the wall, Barn Cat Artisan Ales, 36-inch chain, bam, I still remember that, and this is going back to 2017, 2018, or like whatever it was. Like, oh man, it's just a great part of the experience.
Dude, stories like that make it all worth it.
It's so cool. It's such a simple thing, but the fact that you're able to tell it with such like vivid memory that it like imprints, and that's one customer,
right?
And times that by thousands. Like, I'm sure there's so many people who would be able to come through and just whether they're locals or the people passing through. Maybe there's locals who are just, every time they come through, like, God damn, this is just, I can't believe this is just in my neighborhood. Like, it's very cool.
Yeah, I think it's important to know that. I think it's important to remember that is how much you can impact someone's experience. And I think if you let that influence how you make your decisions, then you're going to be okay.
I love that. So the 2017, and I guess now, 8 years. Is there anything, I mean, aside from COVID, one thing that we were talking about off air that's super cool that did change during that time was that now you're able to serve growlers.
Right.
Like growler paws, which is like a bit of a throwback. And growler people, there's like, oh, look at that.
Nice.
Oh, are we doing this?
You just had that at the ready?
Are we doing
we're
this?
doing
this.
this.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking...
Who's got the bigger growler?
Yeah. Well, you know what? We don't measure.
It's how you use it.
What are we, 20?
Oh my God.
Which is the same in either case. That's why it's okay to say.
Exactly. And we're all 32 ounces. Ounces. Well, actually, that's a good thing. It's a lot of weight. So growlers.
Growlers, man. One of
how
two
does it work?
silver linings of COVID.
Yeah, that's fun.
I think I touched on or I said that line in the previous response. The one is that we can sell beer to go in package format, cans and bottles. The other is that we can do it off draft, which is just a fucking catch up to the rest of the world.
No, you're right. It's
But
kind of wild.
yeah, but here we are. So I have a worldwide pandemic in order to sell
And then
beer
now we can
on
actually do
draft
things.
in a vessel.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's true now anyway. So yeah, we'll focus on that. That's good. We can sell growlers. That's great. So any of these pretty cool one-off beers that are available on draft, you can take home. Yeah, I had to have like a number of many rapid transitional how do we survive conversations with a number of producers of a number of things, and brand concepts was one of them. That's who we decided to go with to brand or screen print our growlers, and that's what started it. During COVID, we now have a supply of them, and anyone who comes in can take beer off the wall home in a 1 or 2 liter format. Yeah.
Do they? So they would. Is there like a deposit for the growler, and
There
then
is.
they
There
can
is.
bring it back to get it cleaned and refilled?
Yeah, bring it back. Yeah, with like, the business is charged a cost for that glass, so we pass that on. It's not. We're
No,
not.
the deposit is normal. I wasn't even
The
saying that as
deposit's
a
normal, yeah.
That's completely normal.
Right. Yeah.
Because now you get to keep it, and then you just bring that in. You don't have to pay the deposit the next time, and the next
Exactly.
time, and the next
If
time.
you refill it, or if you're just returning it, you can get cash back because
There you go.
we can sanitize it and reuse it. And
Completely
honestly,
reasonable.
I would love for everyone to just return it and we can reuse it after sanitizing it and not order more.
Maybe they want to put it on their shelf like Nate and I.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having our barn cat growlers at the ready.
I hope there's less of you than there is people who want to return it.
Well, I guess at the end of the day, you're still compensated for said growler, so you're not left out. Or does the deposit not cover the cost?
No, it does. I mean, costs
does.
went up. I think our deposit's probably a bit under what the costs of each of them are.
Okay.
Negligible, but it's just. Yeah, we don't have to get into that. It's the process. It's like, hello, I would like to place this order. Okay, we need to scrimp at them. It takes this long. Blah 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 blah. That's on me. It's just a timing thing.
I understood.
Yeah.
That's a funny thing with growlers. Like the barn cat are the only one. Are the only growlers that I still have because.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. I think I've got 4 or 5 left because it was a thing that
Only barn cat ones.
Of only barn cat ones, yes.
Okay.
Because it was just a thing that they were the only ones that I was getting beers in growlers from because they were one of the holdouts. Yeah, they were one of the holdouts before they started canning everything.
Right.
And it was just a thing of I would end up in Cambridge maybe twice a year, so I would have my 4 or 5 barn cat growlers that I would just be like doing a very thorough clean of, but like before I made the trip down, get them all filled and bring them back again, so that I'm not buying new growlers each time. And
hey, good for you, man.
And
not everyone even cleans them, you know.
Oh my god, it's I feel weird being the one to clean them, but I'm trying to be as
good about that.
Oh geez, but I want to be so thorough with it, and I want them to be pristinely clean, and I want to make sure they're thoroughly dried before anything anything else goes in them, and I'm worried about dust contamination and all of this because we're talking about beer that I want to make sure I'm drinking in premium condition, and it used to stress me out so much.
Do you guys when you guys take your empties back to the beer store, do you rinse them out before you take them back?
Like empty cans and bottles?
Cans and bottles, yeah.
We do our best.
When I say we, I'm actually talking about Ben, not Arabella Park, like Ben and Nate. Like, do you guys, as in like you two human beings?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. Do you, Nate?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay, because I worked at the beer store 21 years ago. People used to bring like Corona bottles back with cigarettes floating at the bottom with with Corona in there still,
Ah.
like taking it back. I rinse. I'm looking at my empties right there. I rinse every single thing and put them in there. One, you're gonna get fruit flies or whatever at home anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And two,
yeah,
some human has to go through the stuff. I had to do
Totally.
it. Like it's fucking disgusting, bro.
Yeah, like
yeah,
dear,
like
dear world, rinse your empties before you
Yeah.
Rinse your fucking empties.
yeah, no kidding.
There are
Like,
literal
like-
humans out there.
like most importantly for the humans that have to deal with them, but also just just for the sake of where they're sitting in your own in your own home, because like you say, you don't rinse that like there's going to be a sweet sticky mess where you're going to end up attracting flies and it's and it's going to stink of stale beer. Like my empties usually end up sitting in my basement for quite some time before I end up having a stash big enough to bring back for returns. And like it would smell just awful if I wasn't rinsing those out before I put them down there.
Okay,
Do yourself and others a favor.
Yes,
please. That's
yes.
a little PSA for the
Yeah,
plug.
yeah,
I don't know if we've ever said that on here before, but I feel like that's really actually important for those in Ontario anyway.
Absolutely.
I don't know about-
PSA for TBS.
Sponsored by the beer store.
Hopefully.
You
Well,
know,
they're gonna run
Look.
out of money soon.
yeah, Shasta Doug. What we saying? Growler. So okay, so basically people can rock up and now they go and see, oh yeah, next beer. Let's keep going. I think you're right, Nate. I like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that
looking
the
at time.
signal? You guys
Yeah.
That
have.
was the signal.
You have
I was
Wasn't
being
very
I was
subtle.
being none
communicative
too
language
subtle.
I was unaware of.
No, it wasn't. Well, which one are we doing? You tell us, Uncle Ben. You tell
Tall Can
us.
IPA.
Tall Can IPA LFG.
Let's go for it.
All right.
Let's fucking go.
Let's effing flip and go. You can say fucking. It's more fun. All righty. We are doing. Oh! I blew my load too early there. I threw it up there on the screen. Ready? There we go. Boom. This is Wood Brothers Elbows Up. 6.8% IPA. Got the old Trump copping a little elbow there for the old tariffs.
It's funny.
It is funny. What's this? Only canned on 15th of April. So she's a freshen.
Yep.
Do you know much about this one? I did see the launch and I was like, oh, that is a timely beer from Mark and the team.
Ooh, wow, quite a nose on that one.
What is the hops? I'm trying to find it here. Here we go. What's up? It has it's hops on their farm. So Cascade, Chinook, and Centennial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
100%
went like all Canadian.
They went
on it.
Canadian and
Yeah.
Canadian malt.
Well, that makes sense.
Cascade, Chinook, Centennial for a haze. I imagine it's
Yeah, it's an interesting choice.
yeah.
It's
All right,
not
let's see.
what everyone would think about as far as.
No, it's not. It's not typical. That's for sure.
Definitely not. I haven't had a Wood Brothers beer in a little bit. So
Yeah, it's been a minute for me too.
I'm very curious. Tell us about why you chose this one.
I mean, it was just kind of relative at the time. The label. I chose this one for the label.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Definitely. Obviously, we've had.
I had it though. I had drank it, and I did enjoy it. And like a Wood Brothers hoppy beer felt like a good thing to send you guys. I don't know if you're more familiar with it, Nate, being as within a greater proximity. But it's just not so long ago that Wood Brothers even decided to distribute their shit out this way. So
yeah,
they're still kind of.
And you've got a few. And
new
you've
out
got
here.
a few. You've got a few really good, like independent beer shops out that way, like with Sidewalk and whatnot, who I think have been pretty big. And yourselves included, actually, like yourselves and Sidewalk have probably been pretty good providers of Wood Brothers to the Hayes crowd in Kitchener Waterloo, I would say.
Yeah,
but yeah,
us,
like
Sidewalk and Jane Bond that like primarily get Wood Brothers.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah, so you're doing the local crowd a favor there, but yeah, I am reasonably familiar with them. It's been a little while since the last time I've had anything from them, but yeah, they're about equidistant from like between me and Ottawa and Montreal. So
yeah,
been
Even when I was in
been a
Montreal,
couple of
used to get 'em.
times, and there's a couple of spots out here that get them pretty regularly, like. Bar
Okay.
Lupulus usually has them. Dominion City often has them in their store, and
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
So
In
not
even in
so
Montreal, I used to
uncommon.
get them a bunch, and Durand has them out here, which is
Okay.
makes it a bit.
Have you guys had this one?
Oh
before?
no,
I've
no,
not had this one yet. No.
Great. Does it taste like patriotism or no?
Well,
Tastes
let's find out.
Let's find out. Cheers, guys. Get that in you.
Cheers.
Get some Canada in you. Great head though. Nice pillowy.
Yeah.
So nose is like a little herbal and kind of like
Mm.
grassy, which is kind of based on was it Centennial Cascade and Chinook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Those are the like 3 old school West Coast.
Yeah, I would
Oh,
typically
well,
like I would
interesting.
definitely categorize those way more as West Coast hops than haze hops. So interesting choice.
Everybody would. Yeah. I think I agree with you though, Craig. That's like grassy, piney, herbal.
Yeah,
Yep.
which is not
Smelling, but
on the
taste
nose.
is
Yeah,
the taste is like tropical fruit.
Yeah, and I
It's
get quite a
kinda
bit
trippy.
of
It
I
is
get
kinda
quite a
trippy.
bit of citrus from it. Like I'm getting
Yep, definitely.
orange.
Orange.
Like I'm getting kind of like sweet tangerine kind of thing.
Yeah, like clementine skin, persimmon.
Yeah,
maybe a little
yeah.
bit.
Did you say persimmon?
I did.
That's one of the best tasty notes I've ever heard. I am absolutely
common
Like,
to me.
that's going extremely like esoteric on the citrus tasting notes.
It's like jackfruit from Malaysia, harvested in March. I like that.
You guys are fucked. I just have this one particular memory of tasting a persimmon, maybe for the only time ever in my life, with my Italian neighbors that I was growing up as a kid. So I'm like, I don't know, 10, 11. But it stuck with me. They're Italian persimmons to them, but they eat regularly, and I had never had one. They had them on their bar counter in their basement kitchen.
Fair.
And I tasted that, and it stuck with me forever. And then I drink these hazies. And it's like, oh, that tastes like that fruit. So to me, it's common. It's a common connection. That's why I said it.
No, I'm not even trying to clown you, dude. I think it's I think the most okay, yeah, that's what I thought it was. I had to Google it.
The texture of eating that fruit sucks. It's nasty.
Yeah, it's
But
not
the flavors
not so
of
good.
it, are kind of in this beer, I would say.
What's that fucking fruit? It's basically a cherry in a little wrapping. And it's
That's
like
a ground cherry.
ground
Oh.
cherry.
Or
What did you
cloudberry, it gets called too.
Ground
think.
cherry.
It's
Ground
like
cherry.
a pale,
exact-
sort of frail
Yep.
skin.
Yep, exactly right. It's like a little it's almost like a dead leaf covering it.
Like the skin around it looks that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep,
Yeah.
I'm looking at ground cherry. So that's the thing. I'm getting ground cherry. That's
Oh, sure. Kind of.
I might just start googling random random fruits for my beer reviews now.
Yeah, just go with the most obscure fruits you can find, and then you think like, oh man, like this guy's got some deep tasting notes here.
like,
Yeah.
wow, he's fucking. This guy knows, bro.
No one's gonna question you.
No one is
will
ever gonna.
question you.
I'm like,
No.
have you had a ground cherry recently,
Have you ever
Gareth?
Fuck you, Gareth.
See, like that's actually pretty brilliant, because the only way anyone could question you is if they've both had that fruit
beer
recently and that beer.
Right.
Because you would need to have both to have a fair comparison.
You could even mess people up more. Be like, yeah, it tastes to me like the combination of persimmon and ground cherry stewed with a bit of sugar and dehydrated into a fruit leather.
Ooh.
Eaten 5 days later.
Are you talking ground cherry persimmon fruit leather?
Right.
Is that
Yeah.
the episode name?
Oh
throw that
my
at
god!
somebody sometime.
Look, I was
hope
thinking
so.
the Big Blue Wall would be a good name, but now I'm thinking
Uh-huh.
persimmon ground cherry dried fruit leather.
Oh man,
Is it
Ball-
that's a case of like at what point do you cross the line between like, damn, like these are some deep reviews too. This is the most pretentious shit I've ever read in my life.
Oh, it's
such a
razor
good
thin.
question. Such a good
Razor
question.
thin.
Razor thin. Razor thin's the answer.
That's
Yeah,
really what
yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And it could go
Yeah.
either way. You could just hopscotch either side.
Yeah.
We need to
Totally.
up our game of we're just going to go to some like like a South American market on the weekend type thing and just find like and actually have the Spanish name for a fruit or something like that, so it's like extra authentic culturally, or
Yeah,
like,
people would love that.
this guy knows he's tasting this. Maybe you should start doing it on the board. Maybe put tasty, like how like some beers have like 3 words. Oh no, if you buy coffee beans, they got like
Right.
cherry,
Yeah.
cola, nutmeg. Like you
Yeah.
can have 3 words as tasty notes. And persimmon, the ground cherry, fruit leather, plantain.
Right.
Yeah.
They get people thinking like, I don't know what any of those things fucking taste like. I don't know if I want to have this at all.
Yeah.
Like, when did Arabella Park get pretentious?
This is what makes me want to have it entirely.
Yeah.
Because they want to be
Dehydrated
at it.
wolf
You're
shit.
targeting a very niche crowd
Wolf
there.
Well, you know what?
Exactly.
We're
But they exist.
niche within a niche. They exist.
Small
Everyone
pieces of the pie.
Mm-hmm.
Make that
Pieces
the name
of the pie is
episode.
another thing.
Small
Yeah,
pieces of
we
the
keep tying
I'm
back
writing
to
it down.
that pie.
I'm
Yeah.
writing it down. Small pieces of the pie.
Dehydrated wolf shit and saison.
Should I put dehydrated wolf shit?
Yeah, I mean,
Why
as
not?
a
Put it
note-
on the
as
list.
a note, which you
As a
decide
note.
on later. Yeah.
As a potential podcast, because we have a little note for the names.
Mm.
I just thought the Big Blue Wall might be a good one.
I
but
think
now,
it's going to be the Big Blue Wall. I think
But-
it's going to be the Big Blue Wall.
But dehydrated wolf shit, it's pretty good. It's
How do you
compelling.
beat that? How do you beat it?
It's provocative. No one knows what it means.
Makes the people.
now you're sounding like Will Ferrell in Blades of Glory.
That is exactly what we were intending.
That's what
Which
was going
I was
for,
actually quoting Kanye and Jay-Z, but yes,
Yeah.
it's a genius either
Both
way.
are true. Both. Are
Both
true.
Yes.
2 things can be true at the same time. This is glorious, boys. I'm loving it. No, but anyway,
It's good.
it's a fascinating beer. The persimmon and ground cherry aside, it's
Yeah.
on paper this shouldn't
That was
work.
fun. I
should
agree
not
with
work.
that. I totally read this and thought, what the fuck is it going to be like? But it's somehow made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which then makes me think, like, why are, and I'm sure there's a reason, but there has to be a reason. Like, all those traditional American C hops used in West Coast beers, or West Coast IPAs particularly, solely, until something like this comes along, like, did someone just not think about this before? Did someone intentionally not do this before because they thought it'd be wrong and someone figured out something right? Is there an inverse where Galaxy and Citra can be used in a West Coast IPA and that would work well too? I don't know. I just I read the description of this thing and think, what the fuck's going to happen here? But then you drink it and it's like, something's happening here. And it just kind of opens doors. You know?
Oh, for
You
sure.
ever had experiences like that?
Oh, 100%. And there are lots of I can think of a few examples of of ones that have kind of gone even in that opposite direction, like you were saying, like using something like Galaxy or Rawaka or Nelson Sauvin in a West Coast IPA, because Cinquième Baron, one of our Quebec faves, who probably do more West Coast IPAs than any brewery in Canada that I can even think of, and they run the full gamut. Like they'll do full classic C hop ones. I'm pretty sure actually Like if it's a Centennial Cascade like Chinook, that's basically the same blend as we did in the double West Coast IPA collab that I like that I did with them a couple of years ago, because it makes sense as a West Coast IPA
Sure.
like combo. But
Sure.
like they will also do like a Nelson's like Nelson Sauvin one, like they've used Galaxy before, they used Rawaka before. It's like they do old school and and New World hop West Coast
And the
IPAs, and
Westies.
they work.
Right, or
Like
some like
it-
transition in between. Yeah.
yeah,
but
like
rarely
as
the
long
other
as
way.
it has kind of like the base flavors that you expect, or again at least the experience, the appearance that you expect, and the overall experience that you expect from it, like the kind of
Decent
added
bottom
things
line.
that come from those hops, like it works, like like it can make it work, like there's room for it on either side, I think.
Right. Yeah. Depending on how you treat them. I think
Yeah.
that's cool to represent the flexibility of an ingredient in a different style. I mean, East Coast, West Coast IPA, those are two very opposing categories, and you used all West Coast hops in this East Coast IPA, and it like worked, and that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a world that continues to expand.
Absolutely.
You know?
But it's more of the other way around, as you were saying, that like people are using all of the new era hops, new school hops in Westies, but not as much the old school hops in haze.
Yeah, it's
Which-
less common, I would say.
Yeah, until now. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and it's obviously
But
it's
less
a
common,
state
for
grown. Definitely less common. Yeah, it's so interesting because it works in a strange way that
Mhm.
once again, like you said, it shouldn't really work, but it kind of like it gets over the line there. I feel like it would be what's the word? Divisive in the Haze Lord world, as far as like the Haze boys and Haze girls would like be. Some would love it, some might be
Yeah.
like, that's not really
So
ticking the
it
boxes.
might be like, this is not real haze or whatever.
I don't think. Well, not from Wood Brothers have enough of a rep. They wouldn't say it's not
Yeah.
real haze, but they
No one's going to question it from them for sure.
no, they've earned their place for sure. I feel like they could. You're either going to love it or hate it, depending on your palate, depending on how flexible you can be with all of that, and sort of
Sure.
maybe more into the innovation side, because that's pretty different. It's like I've seen like these three hops used in haze, but like alongside a bunch of other stuff, as opposed to just these three together, which makes sense for the theme of the beer, which is obviously all kind of Canadian malt and supporting local and stuff. It's yeah, man, super unique.
And it's not and like it's actually not that out there for Wood Brothers, like with the hops that they grow, they do like to use Chinook quite a lot.
Yes, I know they did their Third Moon collab from the Halloween draw, right?
Yeah, and that was using their their Chinook as well. So they do tend to throw that into quite a lot of their haze, which is so like it's out of the ordinary in the broader haze spectrum, but from Wood Brothers, it's actually pretty pretty
brand.
common occurrence.
Not so uncommon as we're talking about it.
Exactly.
They do. They grow some hops of their own on their property.
They do.
Don't
These are the
They
three.
do. They do. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
Right.
these
Gotcha.
the Untap says it's their this is their estate grown hops. Their estate grown Cascade Chinooks and Centennial paired with 100% Canadian malts.
Right.
So 100% local flavor profile, which obviously was in response to all the stuff. So I think it's an interesting
Response to all the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, though, what this represents is sort of a pride in local ingredients, and I think that's dope.
Totally, man. Man, Nate, have you seen like a bunch of the Glorious and Free things coming out around you, or see in Hamilton?
I surely
have you seen
have
a bunch of those.
Yep,
I surely have, and there's a bunch more that have even just launched theirs today. Sawdust, just dropped theirs. Anderson just dropped theirs. A whole bunch, bunch of them doing it.
We could name. Yeah.
We're talking to Josh from from Dominion City tomorrow, exactly about that. So that's so that's a fantastic initiative, and shouts to True History as well, because they've also they're also doing the Canadian Pilsner project, which is like a same kind of goal, which has already had like 3 or 4 other breweries that sign on to that as well, which is the same kind of deal, doing. They're doing kind of a program-wide, all Canadian ingredient, beer initiative, which is just lovely to see.
Fucking right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for those people who got behind it and started it and got it off the ground. Like, what more important what more important time than now to initiate a thing like this?
Yeah.
Also,
100%.
like, I feel as though it would make more sense to try and keep a perspective like this going always.
Mm-hmm.
It just, we kind of got a fire lit under our ass, and that's fine enough to chalk it up to inspiration. And it's gonna hopefully inspire a lot of economy within Canada and within the brewing industry, and that's good enough. It's just weird to me that it couldn't exist before that and or after that.
Good point.
It takes a bit of a flame. Sure, we got a spark. We're responding to it. Great. And the brewing industry is a big one. And I hope that the ripples of people brewing things like Glorious and Free are far enough stretching that it lasts in people's memories to know that, you can buy Canadian, you can buy local all the time, not just now when crazy US does crazy things. But the message is there, and it's clear, and it's a good one, and it's just like the brewing industry has an impact on the message that's received on the consumer's end of it as far as ingredients are concerned, and therefore how people end up buying products, beer or otherwise. Beer just has a big platform, and I think it's cool that people like Dominion City, and as far wide stretching as it is, it's an open collaboration, have at their disposal, and everyone has been a willing participant, and it's going to spread a good message.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
I agree 100% as well. I hope the ingredient producers, whether they're hop farms or maltsters or yeast, anything else, any other adjuncts, are able to leverage this and reach out to breweries, from just take advantage of the interest, because I feel like this is the perfect time to be introduced to new producers. Maybe people were using
well said.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe they were using stuff in the States or just anywhere else, but maybe they got their cacao from somewhere where no, you can get it from, well, we don't grow it here. That's a dumb example, but you know what I'm saying? Maybe there's some some sort of ingredient that you're getting from elsewhere that now you can get it local. And it took a project whether it's the Glorious and Free or Canadian Pilsner project to be able to bring it to some attention, But
an important point though is that even if even if we don't grow cacao here, but there is certainly a Canadian distributor, a Canadian distributor of it. There's certainly Canadian Canadian vanilla distributors or fruit puree. Certainly by now everyone knows of Barn Owl malt and and escarpment labs for yeast and all of these other things. Just obviously not everything can be 100% Canadian grown, but but there are a lot of things that can be, and for that to be a focus, there's certainly no better time for it. And coming back to Ben's point, it would be great if that could be a focus even outside of times like this, where we feel that there needs to be a focus on Canadian grown and made.
Yeah, I hope it is longer lasting than just this little window where we're feeling pressured.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Great point.
It reminds me of COVID a bit, where everything, you know what I'm saying? Like you mentioned earlier, Ben, that as far as the growler program, you weren't allowed to beforehand. Now, one, you can sell beers to go, and two, you can do growlers. The two silver linings, which, like, guys, you could have done this beforehand, and it's, you know, it shouldn't take that to make it happen. And hopefully all of this stuff has, you know, the next level is that opening up of all the red tape and restrictions between the provinces, so that we can all trade a little easier and hopefully have easier access with less taxes and less just bureaucratic interruption for businesses acquiring whatever they need to do. Or you know, if somebody in Vancouver wants to order stuff from you guys, they can. Do you guys do shipping? Do you ship to home, or do you do home delivery, or not really for the packaged beers?
No.
Okay.
I mean, we're not a producer, right? So we fall in a bit of a different category.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because it's like a reseller from that. Okay, understood.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what the rules were, but either way, just like opening it up and you know, giving easy
like
access
pick
to
the
stuff.
brewery in Ontario that exists that like someone on the West Coast wants to order from. Your point is still extremely valid,
And vice versa.
Yeah.
and vice versa. Yeah, like I want to order beers from
That, well, there you go. That's the example I was looking
Messerum,
for.
you know.
There you go. If Arabella wants to stock
interprovincial
Messer,
stuff,
without
How
the
great
12
would that be?
yeah, dude, it's like without the 12-week fucking aging program, like LCBO aging program, or vice versa. You know, it's like it's just obscene. It makes no sense.
and that's just
like
cans. Yeah, like LCBO has a monopoly on all this shit. You've got to have an import license in order to bring in kegs from producers outside of Ontario, and it's a mess beyond that. An import agency has to exist. They have to have a relationship with a producer outside of the province of Ontario, and then that import agency has to have like agreement, probably verbal and written, with the producer in, say, Quebec, in order to bring that keg into Ontario. And that keg has to be a certain size, which I believe right now is under 30 liters, which is stupid because it's standard like 20, 30, 50, 60s. So it doesn't make sense. And then that import agency has to resell it to me. And that's when it gets easy. That's just an exchange of invoices. But that's the easy part.
But it's so fucking convoluted to get to that point.
So convoluted.
So they don't. If you were buying a keg, the best example, if Arabella wanted to buy a keg from Meso and there was a distributor that Meso was working with in Ontario, you could do that without having to have that keg die in a warm warehouse for a while. Like, it's able to happen pretty promptly.
Depending.
Okay.
It still has to go through the LCBO. So that import agency still has to sell that beer on behalf of the LCBO, meaning that the LCBO warehouses the import of the, for example, Messerum keg into their warehouse. Cold storage, sure. But they then have to, I believe, like lab test their shit and then distribute it, which is why we don't really get kegs outside of Ontario anymore, because bottles were easy to lab test. Kegs are not. Somehow Keepsakes did it for a while. I think they were probably pretty grandfathered in. But yeah, no one. I mean, Keepsakes, I think, still does, but they keep it for themselves. So yeah, to like get kegs of Messerum or Alafoot or whatever the fuck from Quebec is like.
Yeah.
I mean, you can break the law and drive it over the border and run the risk, but otherwise, legally, it's I don't really know.
We would love for there to be a legal path for that.
Yeah, it just makes no sense.
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch directions on us. Try to bring this back to Arabella here, because one thing we have not talked about yet is food.
Yes.
Yeah, because y'all have a delightful food program, and
Nice.
and I can speak for myself and a couple other friends of mine that are a big fan of the fried chicken sandwiches you got there. But can you tell us a bit about your food program and how you guys approach your menu and how it relates to the beers and everything else around that?
Yeah, totally. It's always from day one been designed to just be food that complements beer, and given any style of beer can be complemented by a food item. You figure out what you want to eat based on what you're drinking, and the two will match up pretty well. That's the most basic simplicity behind the food menu. But as much as our beer menu rotates, so does the food menu. It's also meant to be inspired by creativity and anyone who works in the kitchen. And we have a lot of creative minds in the kitchen. So we're lucky that creativity flows and things change frequently, like as frequently as a new idea comes up. And the sole inspiration is just like food that pairs well with beer and can be shared well with people that, are at your table. It's always been a communal space. That's always been a part of the trajectory of that space. When you walk into it, it's just like, maybe you know the people you're sitting with, maybe you don't, but you're sharing space and or food if it all goes well. So the intention behind it is to like have the option of sharing food available to you. Yeah, kind of like German beer garden style thing, not just pretzels where you can break a bit off, but something where, I don't know, piece of fried chicken skin goes your way, and we dip it in this thing, or same with fries, or some tempura vegetable. It's just like food shareable, beer shareable, if you want it to be, but you all have your own.
Right.
Space is shareable, conversation is shareable. It's just meant to be communal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there something that like people get mad if you don't have on the menu as you're like rotating it off?
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, there's been, okay, so we've been open 8 years. It was entirely 100% rotational food menu, meaning like nothing stayed. Since then, 3 things cannot go off. The chip truck fries, the burger, and the Nashville like hot fried chicken sandwich.
Yep.
So of a, I don't know, 8 to 14 item menu, there's 3 staples. And now I'm saying this in public, but there was a dill fry that was on for a while, which is not on right now. But do we still have the capability to make it? Yeah. So that was kind of this like weird interim thing where we put it on the menu and it gained so much attention and people loved it so much that it felt like if we took it off, it would be so consequential that it might enter that category of things that can't go off the menu. But you kind of just gotta fuck with people a little bit. And and so we did.
This is a pod secret for you here.
Yeah. And now, so this is like what we're doing, at least with this menu item. It's like, it's not on the menu, but people ask about it. We can still make it because the items to do it are kind of in the kitchen all the time. And if eventually people start asking, it fades away organically. If eventually people keep asking, well, maybe it deserves to be on the menu.
That's a good way to look at it, though. It's
go.
literally like popular demand. What people are asking for, you're like, yeah, well, got to bring it back.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When I was there with Rob in January and you, Ben, I had that. There was like a Jamaican like jerk burger.
Oh, you came on a Monday.
I did come on a Monday.
Which, yeah, right. And you took the pineapple off of it.
Yeah. Wow. Why are you calling me out, bro? I don't like Hawaiian pizza. I don't fuck with Hawaiian pizza. And I didn't realize there was like pineapple like on that shit, like a big ring of the thing. I was like, I can't fuck with that.
Jerk spice and pineapple are just, they just marry so well.
I understand.
Anyways,
I didn't mean to disrespect it. I'm sorry.
And I didn't mean to call you out. But it was just, Monday
I appreciate
burger
the
feature
call.
thing. It was
Okay.
that's what we were doing that in the winter. You know, you gotta try and do your best to drum up some business in the off season. So that was like a Monday winter burger feature thing that we were doing, and you came in, yeah, and it was
That was
January.
lit.
So that was like a jerk burger inspired feature for a Monday. And
Super
the burger
tasty.
feature is still going on
Okay, so every Monday, fresh burger, something different,
as of now. Something new. Yeah.
something
And
new.
it just like allows people in the kitchen to get or have a creative outlet, which is fun for
I
anybody
love it.
involved, and gives people something to look forward to on a Monday.
I like that.
And we've
Like it.
developed a crowd for the future Monday burger.
It was busy, and it was minus
busy.
26 that day, and there was snow piles everywhere because it wasn't like that here in Hamilton. And then there, I was like, "Oh my God, what is happening here? This is like Montreal." And it was, I couldn't believe how busy it was. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I remember being at the table with you, and I don't remember why it was that busy, or like what the reason may have been for that busyness. But
Well,
it just was.
it was a vibe. I was like, that was my second time. So me and Nate came in like a, I don't know, a hot something summerish or whatever, something warm, and then that time happened to be brick. But it was, I was like, to me, and this is what I said to you off air, it was super encouraging because there were that many people of differing age groups. I saw some like mad old dudes as well as like, you know, people in their 20s and 30s or whatever, like hanging out, having beers. It was very cold, very unpleasant,
Right.
but they wanted to come out to the bar to do that. I was like, man, this is so cool. I don't know.
Right.
It was like in a time where like a lot of breweries are closing and we're all sad about it because we talked about some already tonight that had, and just seeing that was like, fuck, man. All right. Like, you know, there's some hope on a Monday in January being that cold. I was just like, this is the worst possible conditions, but it was arguably pretty close to as busy as the time when Nate and I came through on whatever it was, some warm time. I was like, this is beautiful. And like you said, maybe it was a fluke, maybe it was whatever, but that's what I saw. And I was like, fuck, that's a beautiful thing. And maybe that speaks volumes about what you're doing for the community up there, man. Like, you know, 8 years, it's an institution. It's a big blue wall of fire. It's incredible kitchen of fire. Sometimes you have to take a pineapple off to get going, but it's okay. Absolutely sending love to the chef. I hope I didn't disrespect anybody in the kitchen there. That was not my intention.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Okay, good. Shout him. But yeah, man, it was just sick. I thought that was just fucking awesome, to be honest. I just like that is really stuck with me this year. It was I already had an incredibly high. I already thought very highly of what you guys do, and I know how important it is what you guys do for craft beer, and craft beer bars sometimes don't get their props. That's why we wanted to have you on because we love it. We're you know, I imagine you as a drinker, aside from the owner, like, you know, you're a drinker too. You go to beer bars, and I think that, you know, if you're traveling, you go to a beer bar too. You go to breweries, but you kind of want to check out a beer bar, see what's popping, get the vibes of, you know, who are they curating? Who are they putting on? Like, what's happening? I feel like it gives you a different perspective of a city, and a region and a beer scene by going to a beer bar than it does to a brewery. And I think you kind of like it's really important. And there isn't that many incredible ones.
It's very easy to get caught up in just reading a menu whenever you go to what one might consider the important ones of a beer bar when you go to a city, for one. For two, thanks for saying what you said about the food program. And
you're welcome. Shouts to that pineapple.
Yeah. R.I.P. And yeah, man, it's just so yeah,
it's
getting
trash.
caught up in reading menus is easy and fun. I think anyone who's in the industry is just really probably enthralled by seeing what they see on paper at another restaurant. If you own one or you work at one, you know what the incentive is behind what you do at your place. And when you go to somebody else's place, it's like, what's the incentive behind what they do? Let me try and capture it in whatever's written on this menu. It's a really fun little time to spend reading. You're not reading like the words about this Hawaiian pizza with pineapple on it. You're just reading like, how much is that Hawaiian pizza with pineapple on it? Does it cost extra? Is there a line that says, am I an inferior human if I take the pineapple off? How much does this double burger cost instead of a single burger? You know, like there's just things.
Can you put the pineapple all on one side so my girlfriend can have it, so that I can have the normal pizza for normal people without the pineapple on it? That's a hill on innovation hill. I will die on that hill with anti-pineapple on pizza.
Okay, all right. We know where you stand.
Are you with me on that, Nate?
I am with you on that. I'm not.
No way.
I'm against
2-on-1
pizza.
Sorry,
2-on-1.
Benny. Sorry, brother.
God damn it.
Nate, look, honestly, we've been disagreeing about the level of innovation lately. So I thought this was the same thing, and I want the pineapple on pizza is like a very large discussion, and it's you're one side or the other. But there's no like gray. This is black and white.
No one's agnostic on that.
Not at all.
0%.
I don't. I'm kind of shocked, Nate. I'm shocked and pleasantly surprised. So let's have a great pizza next time we hang out with Arabella Park. With
you guys didn't know that about each other?
No, we never talked.
No, we're discovering that right now.
We had pizzas together before, but they didn't have pineapple.
But never with pineapple.
No. We were at Willabald and had like the spicy sausage pizza which was really good.
Every time I go back, I have that pizza, and I think one time I was like, I have to have something different, and I think I had a burger, and I'm like, it was great, but I really want that pizza. That's a great one. But
pizza home,
right? God damn. Do you guys do pizza?
No.
Don't
really have the capability to do pizza, not in the like proper way.
Gotcha. And if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it right, because that's what you do. God damn it, you do things right.
We got a flat top and some deep fryers. We got sous vide that enters into the equation occasionally, but those are kind of the like big three tools.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
fellas.
Yeah, next one.
Yeah, I'm gonna suggest that we maybe pause and take a bathroom break, and then we get into the next beer.
Agreed.
That's a great call. All right, gentlemen, we'll be back. We are back.
We are back.
Ladders could not be emptier, and glasses are about to be filled. Let's fucking go. We are doing something we haven't really done for a bit. We were just saying off air there. This is a delightful little gem from the Lords at Bandit Brewery in Toronto. The Fly Half, a nice little rugby reference there for the fucking Kiwis in the building. Shouts to the Cuzzy Brew Z. Oh, sweet as brew. Oh, new. Oh, so choicey. Okay, so this is a.
No one knows what you're talking about.
Wow, I want to know what you're talking about so bad.
Have you not heard like New Zealanders talk?
I have.
Well, sure, we have.
Some of those words. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the way they talk.
Okay, what does fly half mean?
I think it's a rugby position. But like I'm from Melbourne, Australia. So Melbourne, we do Aussie rules football. New South Wales and Queensland do rugby. We don't really fuck with rugby like that. But this dude is a rugby player. The way he's holding the hop, which is like a ball, because they throw it and you got to like pivot backwards. You have to throw it back. And the dude looks kind of like a All Blacks player, which is the Kiwi rugby team, the national team. So they are pretty dope because they have all the Maoris are the indigenous New Zealanders, and they've got all the Pacific Islanders. So a lot of Pacific Islands, Samoa, Tonga, Vanuatu, New Caledonia, Fiji, all that shit. A lot of folks from their Cook Islands like go to either not like Queensland in Australia because it's warm, or they'll go to New Zealand because culturally it's kind of similar. And they look like they'll kill you, but they're some of the friendliest, wonderful, most lovely people you've ever met. And they fucking talk so funny. It's so... Okay. Should I say this in the pod? It's not that problematic.
Yeah, give us an example.
Okay. So Okay, this is funny. I'm sorry. It's not that offensive. So I was at my friend's bachelor party in 2008 in Queensland. He was marrying my mate's Philo, and he was marrying this Maori chick from New Zealand, and all her Kiwi friends came over. Oh God, it was fucking. They were just teaching me slang all week. And we went to Hooters because they have a Hooters in Queensland. And we were supposed to go to the strippers, and we're getting in some, I guess, a van that we were going. He's like, "Come on, bro, I want to see some tuts and munge," like tits and minge, meaning breast and vagina, tuts and munge, because they say the vowels opposite to what it kind of is. Like an I is like a like six is like sucks. Yeah, tuts and munge, bro. We'd say to this
Like
day.
an
It's
I
so funny.
becomes a U almost.
Yeah, kind of.
Tuts and
Like all the
munge.
I just like, and he was dead ass. Like, fuck, it was good. And all of the slang, like they call each other cuzzy bro. Oh, what's up, cuzzy bro? What's going on, bro? How you doing? Choice says, hey, Sue, choice, bro. Like they like. I don't know why. Maybe it's an Aussie thing, but I just find it like hilarious. There was this these dudes who were supposed to have on the pod. I actually should follow up because they bought a brewery. But these guys did these Aussies did this thing called Beached As. Did you guys ever see that? It's a cartoon of a beach whale on YouTube.
Oh,
It went
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was
like
I
a
had
chop.
that as
Like a chip,
bro. This one chop
Like
a
a chip
chop.
chop.
Oh, what the
Like a
bro?
chop.
I don't eat chops. Exactly. I can't believe you know that. Fuck yes.
It made me laugh so good.
Oh, Nate, I have to send it to you afterwards. But I had that as my
Beached
text
is.
message ringtone. So every time someone texted me, like in like 2005, 2005, 7, whatever, a long time ago. And so every time someone texted me, I just waited it out every single time. So I've heard it a billion times. It's just so funny. They just nailed it so good. It's something about the accent is so funny, and I was obsessed when we went there in 2008. My brother was like, "I swear to God, bro, if you keep talking like this, I don't give a fuck. You can get beat up. I'm not gonna like, I'm not gonna help. I'm not helping you out. I don't care." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." But
Yeah.
we knew people there, and they're just the loveliest people, and they happen to talk the funniest, in my humble opinion.
They do talk funny. I used to watch Flight of the Conchords a lot, like back in university, and that definitely like helped to popularize the New Zealand accent back in those days.
Yeah, those guys did the world a favor. They were fantastic. They were really funny. They were kind of more the general thing as opposed to like the Maori kind of side of it, or the more of the other side. But they were so funny. They didn't do the slang as much, but they would just sort of talk kind of just saying normal things, but really funny.
Yeah,
they're so good, and they happen to have some of the best hops on the goddamn planet. When I say some of, I mean the best.
Yeah,
hops. And this is an IPA. What is this? 6? Is this 6.5 or something? 6.5. With Nectaron, Rawaka, and Nelson Sauvon. Yes, everything usually is, and that is not a bad thing. So anyway, shouts to New Zealand, man. You're the best. Why did you select this one from Bandit, brother?
I think Bandit deserves more recognition.
More props? Yeah.
I
agree.
Props. I think the beer they're doing is really good. I don't have a relationship with Bandit.
Okay.
And I would like to. Dear Bandit, I would like to.
Dear Bandit. Reach out, guys. They've been on twice. Like they're good cats.
Really? Look here, I'm continuing on the proper glassware trend here.
Oh,
Nate,
fuck you!
Nate,
I got to dig out my Bandit glass for this. I was quite excited for that.
You are flexing
so
on the
much
squad.
more prepared than I would. Yeah, you are.
Well, he is
Jesus.
a podcaster.
I brought, funny like, a couple things. You should have brought so many more things.
Why are you doing so much more things, Nate? There was one of the original owners. He's not an owner anymore, but this dude Shazad was friends with my cousin when I first moved here. So this dude used to come to our house for like parties.
Of Bandit, sorry?
Of Bandit, but in like 2011, 2012. And I just knew him. And then later on, my cousin was like, yo, Shazad opened a brewery. I'm like, what the fuck? And so he was on the first time we were on the pod. And I didn't know that until later now. And he left that. And then there's a gentleman from France. Fuck, I forgot his name. It's escaping me because this has been number 5. That's why. And maybe there's another partner as well, though they got like the brewer and stuff. But yeah, they've I feel like their stuff has always been consistently pretty fucking damn good over the years. Like they've never
I
really
agree.
slipped, but they never got their props. Like I feel like their haze has
Mhm.
been great. They've had some dope barrel aged stuff. Crispies is solid. Like they've had a really
Stouts?
good stouts, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Barrel aged stuff, yeah, that's what I meant. Barrel aged stouts and stuff. Wicked patio, cool vibe. And I just feel like they
Yeah,
never
dude.
really got their props, you know?
I
Obviously, Nate,
know.
you thought they were good if you got the glassware.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and like, and I've been there, and I've been there once before too. Like they like they've always been like been really solid for haze. It's like, but they are one that like kind of regrettably doesn't get talked about very like very much anymore, and it's a
Yeah.
Why
shame.
is that? Why is that, do you think?
Yeah, I wonder if it's like because there's some breweries that do really great haze, and haze is really what's going to get haze or something like smoothies or like your barrel aged, like stouts or whatever.
Like
There's kind of
the hype shit.
hype's just going to get you talked about.
Yeah.
Their
Yeah.
haze has
Yeah.
always been great, but there's some breweries like one of the other best examples like Bandit is Rob at Shortfinger. His haze is fucking fantastic. Doesn't get talked about like it should. That's one of the first things I said to him when we were doing the day when we hung out. I was like, man, this stuff is
I don't
so
think
great.
he wants that though.
No, but I feel like I agree. I don't think he does, but that is one conduit to a discussion to maybe get a little bit more attention from a wider beer scene, and
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
it's not the
to
only way to
derail
do
your
it.
wider point there. Yeah.
No, that's really the point. Is just like sometimes I feel like maybe it's like they're in like Junction and there's not a ton happening out there, so there's not like a circuit directly. I know Indie's out there as well, but I feel like almost Indie doesn't get enough props if you really want to say it too.
No, it's true.
So it's kind of like they might have just flown under the radar. Like even when I heard about them, and when I went, they'd been open for a while, and I was like, finally made it out. Like, yeah, it's like I don't know what it is. It's almost like there's people talking about it, but they become almost like a neighborhood. Okay, this is probably what my final thought would be. They become like a neighborhood brewery because they really serve the area really well, as opposed to the brewery that sort of like the hype lords would go for and go really like hyper searching out all their stuff. I remember they had killer milkshake IPAs. They absolutely could, but for some reason it just hasn't translated to that world.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I don't quite have the answer for that.
yeah, that's the only guess anyway. But I'm even looking at look how milky this fucking bad boy is. Look at this shit.
Yeah, let's give this a taste, shall we?
Yeah, gentlemen, get that in you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes.
Once again, Rawaka Nectar on Nelson.
Ooh, like I'm getting the Rawaka on the nose even.
Fantastic. Oh, that is so chalky. It's just this tastes like green, so it's probably pretty fresh.
Yeah, that does taste green.
We brought that in
April
a week or
17th.
two
so,
ago.
Yeah. So it's super fresh. This is hella green.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting
I think New Zealand hops just have that. They bite your tongue though. Like 3 weeks is not that old in the grand scheme of things, but I think if we drank this 3 weeks from now, it might still have that same prominent, strong kind of hop.
It could
grip your tongue presence on the palate.
And Rawaka in particular.
And that's just what they do.
Yeah, really.
Rawaka and Nelson. I'd throw both in what I think you're about to say.
Yeah, like well, what I was about to say is that like Rawaka is one that I find presents like really, really broadly. Like it can go in so many different directions, like depending on kind of how it's used and what it's paired with. Like sometimes it just comes like just super nice and tropical. Sometimes it's bold and punchy. Sometimes it also like, and this is more when it's kind of on its own or the most prominent one. It even does like a weird sesame kind of thing, or like with a like also a weird spicy sort of thing to it. And I feel like Rawaka is probably being used in a bit higher proportions in this one because the sesame kind of spicy thing is coming out a little bit more than even the Nelson. And Nelson is another very like overpowering hop, or it can be, but the Rawaka is coming through more, at least on my palate.
Right. What would you say when you say tropical? Or sorry,
Well,
what would you mean when you say tropical?
Well, yeah, and that's a fair question because tropical is a bit vague and a bit and a bit broad. But I mean, it can present with very kind of like bold, punchy tropical flavors like passion fruit, the like pineapple, giving off something like even something acidic, but still very like juicy, fruity, the like sort of thing is more like is kind of what I mean in the tropical sense.
Yeah, a bit of like mango, some like pithy grapefruit, dank citrus type of vibes in here. The white grape is kind of popping through a bit.
Yeah, always the white grape, I would say, with New Zealand stuff.
Yeah, well, specifically Nelson, but
particularly with Nelson, yeah.
Particularly with Nelson. Yeah, white grape and grassy are always the two things I use.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of grassy, which is interesting for this. Yeah, this is interesting. I feel like it's probably like 3 weeks old, but it almost tastes young. And there's something I love. By the way, I
has
love
that
it.
like greeny bite to it. Yeah,
it does for sure.
Yeah, it's and I'm personally a big fan of Hopburn, like that bitey greenness.
Are you really?
Yeah, you're not into
crazy
it?
people. No, I don't like it at all. No, I think it's wild.
Well, I'll take your green. You can take my pineapple. How about that, eh?
Fair deal.
Yeah, you guys are all set. You're all set.
You're legit the second person I've ever met who enjoys Hopburn.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the first?
Yeah. Now I'm upset. Now I'm pissed.
Do you know?
Do I know Gavin?
Terry
No,
and Emma.
I do. I met them like a month ago.
Yeah. Fair. So Emma.
Emma loves it. Shouts to Emma. She's lovely.
Yeah. That is way too specific for anyone who's listening to know what the fuck we're talking about. But there's two people, Terry and Emma.
There's a KW reference there.
That's a deep KW reference.
I have their sticker.
Beer connoisseurs. They make their own stickers. T ampersand
plus E. Yeah.
And if anyone gets one, you need to put it up in a bathroom somewhere. Anyways,
I kept it.
Two craft beer connoisseurs. They go to the best beer bars in the world. They've traveled pretty internationally. And Emma loves Hopburn. And she was the first person I met, and I found that pretty wild.
Well, I feel like I'm in good company. I feel like in good company. Shouts to Emma. We have talked about Terry and Emma on the pod with Jen from Beer Town before.
Yeah.
That makes
because of the Bone Pine.
Collab.
The Sawdust collab. And I went to the Sawdust collab with them in March. So
like the brewing of it?
Yeah. I don't know why. Jim from Third Moon invited me to come stay at his cottage, and they were brewing. I was like, all right, Sam's my friend, and Jen happened to be
why
there.
Why in the world would you say no to that?
Yeah, I was just like, I'm going. Sorry, babe. Bye. And like they were both there. I didn't even know what they looked like. Terry came up and introduced himself. I was like, shit, what up, bro? Nice to meet you. He's like 6'5". Yeah, the tallest man alive. And Emma is shorter than me, so it's very funny.
The opposite of that.
The opposite of that. And I was like, yeah, man. And I'm very happy for them because they, they know what's up. They were super cool. We had a lot in common. But now we have even more in common about Hopper. We did not talk about that. So
it's
yes,
crazy.
the podcast.
It's crazy to me. It never got brought up.
No, it's well. If I see them again, I'm sure I will eventually.
Totally. Yeah, I mean they're both humble people.
Yeah, very cool.
I was gonna say she prides herself on the liking of the Hopburn. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe that's why it never got brought up. But you bring it up next time. See what happens.
Oh, I'm gonna do it. Don't you? Are you kidding me? Don't you even worry about that.
Yeah,
I'm absolutely doing that. Sorry, I don't know why I'm saying to boot. I think because we were doing Kiwi, and now I just feel like
it's because of the elbows up beer.
It's elbows up. I'm just feeling Canadian. Like,
elbows up.
You got to bring it back Canadian.
Rub maple syrup on my mustache so I can smell it. Let's fucking go. No, but this is great. Shouts to Bandit. Sorry, Nate. When I was derailing, I feel like we're getting a bit wild right now.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
I want to. So I want to come back to something, and that what made me think of this was actually a conversation that we had with with Greg from Counterpart, and but and what that is the whole kind of bar service setup at Arabella. Because that was a big conversation with Greg at Counterpart, and they because they went with a similar model, and there was kind of lots of conversation about it. I don't know, people weren't necessarily upset about it, but but it definitely caused some conversation. Can you explain how that works and kind of how you decided on that model?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Wow, no one's ever said that.
But we'll try.
Well, I know you weren't I know you weren't one of the original owners, so it may not have been your decision, but maybe if you can speak to it in any sense.
It was not my decision, but I can definitely speak to it in some sense.
Okay.
I preferred no, personally.
Just like no.
Nick.
Like, I'm good.
I don't care. This is a podcast, but eat shit.
No,
I ain't doing it. Not today, devil.
I understand the concept behind why bar service was brought into the fold and why it sort of was intentional and probably a rare amount of people understand it this way. However, the point was that you're at your table, you're having your food, you're having your discussion, you are having your drink, and at no point does anyone interrupt you from that. You can just go up and order more food and or drink if you want it, whenever you want it. And if you don't want it, no one interrupts you. That was the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope.
I don't think in North America that it's been received all that well. Everyone kind of hopes for someone to wait on them and dote on them and be there when they want something else. It's new. Mm-hmm. It still feels new. It's 8 years later. It still feels new.
Yeah.
But that was the whole idea behind it. I still think it's a good idea. I just don't think everyone sees it the same way.
Folks are definitely still not used to it yet. I don't think. I think you're absolutely right on that. But I agree. I think it's a good idea. I think it's nice to kind of be at your table with the people, that you're with. And there's something to be said for the conversation not being broken up, at kind of periodic intervals for.
It's a pretty good thing, right?
I think it's great. Particularly
I agree.
Beer bar.
I agree.
It's like you're at a bar as opposed to a restaurant. Now it's a bar that has really high level food, but it kind of feels like it's not that annoying. There's enough bartenders, there's enough space at the bar. It's pretty easy and fast to get a drink. It's not like you're gonna be waiting 10 minutes or anything. Maybe if it's super, super, super busy, but yeah, it's pretty sweet, man. I don't know. I didn't really see a problem with it.
I don't know.
And it's kind of I feel like it's culturally right.
Culturally, yeah. I think
culturally,
it's culturally
for beer. Not
accepted or not?
I would say in the craft beer world, absolutely accepted. If I go to a beer bar, if I go to Bar Hop or The Only or fucking Durand here in Hamilton or fucking The Brain or any beer bar that is Lupulo in Ottawa, all those things, you order at the bar. This is what it is.
Right.
Go to the bar when you're ready, because the point really isn't it's good bar service is what they're trying to give you. You're trying to get great bar service so that you've got your beer served in the perfect glass at the perfect temperature with the great head and looking sexy and clean, and no sticky shit on it, all of that. And you can be you can also order your food when you're ready, and you take it back to your table and you chill, and you're you don't feel pressured. You don't feel I prefer that. I like being kind of left alone. So to me, that's my preferred method of at a brewery, at a beer bar. Anyway, I think it's great. So culturally in the beer world, I don't think it's odd. Culturally in North America, I get what you're saying. Absolutely, people like being waited on. Yeah, it's a different vibe, but I don't think it feels I don't think it feels out of place at Arabella. If you go there, once you got a communal table, do you really expect people to come and wait on you? I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that means we out here, we chilling, we go get our shit because we're adults and we get it when we're ready. And it's already fixed up, the
Yeah.
tab, or you got a tab and you leave the card and you're good to go. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's weird at all. I don't think it's strange. So
Good. I'm glad that people like you exist. I hope more people spread that message. See.
yeah, guys, just
Yeah,
chill.
there's still people that don't think that way, and it's been 8
Yeah.
years, and I thought that there might be a point in which no people who come into Arabella think that way, and I think that's naive. Now, 8 years later, it will forever be, because there's always going to be newcomers. But it would be great if everyone who came in understood the way we operate and find a way to enjoy it. I'm not going to say accept it, but find a way to enjoy it. Like, it's cool. It might not be what you're used to, but it's cool if you just like loosen your belt a little and like get like comfortable in perhaps some like uncomfortable circumstances. Yeah, you might have to walk up and you won't get served at the table, but you get to do that on your own time. No one's going to interrupt your conversation. It kind of is a construct that is different than what you're used to, but if you're open to it, it might benefit you a little bit.
Yeah. And for those who are unfamiliar with it, the food will still get brought to your table. Like you just go up to you just go up to order it at the bar. The food will still get brought to you.
Right. Yeah. No.
So you still wait
what you want at the table, but yeah, you're waiting on this, and like in the most convenient part of it, you want the food to be brought to you. I would think that way if I was a guest. Yeah. Up to the bar, order, sure. Back to the table, food brought to me, pretty all right.
Yeah.
And that happens. So cool.
Yeah. I feel like, because like you go into would you call Arabella Park a bar or a restaurant? What would you like determine it as?
I would say bar. I would say beer bar.
And what happens in
That's a common question.
Right. Okay. Amazing. And then for the expectation of the service would be based on what that establishment is, not like what you think it is, but what it actually is. It is a craft beer bar. It's a high-end craft beer from some of the best breweries in the province that are highly curated and some phenomenal food program. And when it's a beer bar, typically you don't really have a personal server. I can't think, unless there's something that either of you two can think of one, but I can't think of a beer bar that I've been to that they come down to the tables.
Lupulus here in Ottawa, it's table service, like as if it was a restaurant. Although they operate a little bit.
Wow, aren't you fancy, Ottawa? Wow.
Although to be fair,
Parliament. So we want
whereas I think of them as a beer bar, my wife would classify them differently because my wife is not a beer drinker, and but like she still loves going to Lupulus because they have a great wine list and a great cocktail menu. And they kind of still cater to that as well, and they've got a food menu which is atypical for a beer bar, but they do still have 20 taps and a gigantic bottle list, and anyway, this isn't a podcast about Lupulus, but their model is a little bit different. It seems to work for them, and they attract an eclectic crowd. And it seems to work, for whatever the reason is.
But the food is good.
Oh, the food's excellent. It's not what but it is very much not what you typically expect for for a beer bar, which is why I think it's fair to not necessarily classify it as a beer bar, even though I think of it as a beer bar because it has 20 taps and I can get any of the most hype shit that I want there.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But the food is talk about the food. This could be any place. It could be any
so I will talk about the food. So like one option that is always there in a rotating fashion is like a custom charcuterie kind of thing. Like you can choose individual items, like meats and cheeses for a exquisitely presented charcuterie board, but like which my wife and I have done there for meals several times. They will have 2 or 3 different types of rotating pastas at any different time. They'll have small cold plates of of different varieties. Sometimes they'll have like a tuna tartare, or sometimes they'll have some kind of steak, or it might be or you might have like a veal cheek kind of thing. Like it's very high end food,
dead baby
really
cow cheek. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Sorry.
So it's like the food is absolutely exquisite, but very kind of upscale from what you.
So
might
almost
expect
sounds
from a
more
beer
like
bar.
they would consider themselves a restaurant versus just a beer bar, but they happen to have a really fantastic beer selection.
Yeah, exactly. Like they would probably consider themselves more a restaurant, but they're called Bar Lupulus, which sounds like the name of a beer bar. And when you walk in, you see a lineup of 20 taps and a gigantic projected thing on the back of the bar listing 20 different beers that they have. Sorry?
Like Milos? The projected thing on a screen?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly like
the,
Milos.
Okay. Man, so that seems either complicated or like a really nice blend of 2 really good things. If they've hit the nail on the head with the food and it's finessed, then you can go in there and get some veal cheek, whatever, and have a draft list of 20 fine Ontario and beyond things. Like that's really fucking cool. But it's hard then to define yourself between restaurant or bar. Like this is going back to your initial question, Craig. It's really hard. It becomes hard. It becomes a difference between how people view you, how you choose to view yourself, how you define yourself. How does Arabella Park define itself? I would say beer bar. How do people interpret Arabella Park? Probably somewhere between pub and really cool craft beer bar. Pub, as far as the food goes, because it's fried chicken sandwiches, it's burgers, it's fries. We recently had a new chef who's like kind of revamping that and breathing new life and air into the food menu, which I'm really happy about. Might take some time, so that might change. But those things, ultimately, I don't think are going to change as far as Arabella's identity goes, regardless of what I think about food or what I hope to see of food out of our kitchen. We have 8 years under our belt, and it's going to probably not change that much because we have a reputation. So there's going to be fried chicken, there's going to be burgers, there's going to be fries. There's going to be, outside of those things, variations with some fun stuff, vegetable dishes and creative stuff. But it's going to be a 10 to 12 item food menu. So I don't think people are going to call us a restaurant. We're always going to have 18 taps. Ish. I'm saying ish. And we're going to have the same amount of taps. Well, forever. I mean, yeah, let's say forever. Let's say forever. And I think that puts us in the beer bar categorization. The food is going to complement it. It's going to fluctuate. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fun. You're going to be interested. It's going to be new when you come in. It's going to be a different experience each visit with the food and with the beer. And why the fuck can't that just be a nice harmonization for every time you come to this place? There's no reason it can't be.
Boom.
Absolutely none. I love it. I think that's fucking awesome. I love that. Even if you say it like that, like even the 8 to 14 items on the menu, like Yeah, like it's almost feels like there's a decent selection, but is it a restaurant? It still feels bar forward to me, and therefore that's
Yeah.
the expectation. But
It's
also,
bar forward.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's not
You can eat. You can eat.
Yeah, and you can
You
eat
know?
well, and you can leave very full and very
Sure.
satiated with both the beer side and both the food side. But you don't have to, don't need to have that sort of table set. Just yeah, I get it, man. I get it. I feel like maybe it's easier for Nate and I because we've been there, and for people who are watching or listening who haven't been there, it's harder to interpret. Even if you think about your favorite beer bar, like do they have table service? And I would argue,
Right. That's a good question.
more times, it's
I would say no.
probably no. Like,
Yeah.
regardless of where in the world, where you're in Australia, Europe, America, wherever, like, I just feel like you're probably going to say no as far as the beer bar, because that's typically how it goes. But
I just don't think in general that clientele within this city that happen to come to Arabella are of the same opinion that we're speaking of.
interesting.
Maybe not.
Well,
I'm gonna go with
It might
probably,
it's like, and I think there's I think there's something in what you say with if you happen to come to Arabella. If you are like, let's fucking go to Arabella, that's a different thing. If you happen to come to Arabella, then you might be a bit thrown off by it.
that's a good way to put it.
I agree. And I think the more and more time that passes, we get a greater and greater number of people who are familiar and then don't have these unfamiliarities or questions when they enter and then incur the service style. However, but
100%.
but not zero, you know?
Yeah.
So there's forever going to be the people that ask for Coors Light, and there's forever going to be the people who say, is anyone coming to my table? I thought early in starting at Arabella that would go away. I accept now that it will not.
Can you put like a
Probably
sign?
going to make me better.
Is it worth putting a sign in the entrance or something like, hey, yo, it's the bar service or something, like letting people know, and then in brackets, no, we don't serve Coors Light.
Sure. Yeah, something to that effect. We did. I mean, not the Coors Light part, but in the summer, especially when it's all patio and people just walk up, and if they don't know, if they have been there if this is their first time coming, I feel that we are responsible for giving them some direction for sure.
Yeah.
So there's been just a little like sort of table topper-esque sign on top of a stool that says like, see yourself or at the bar, have fun. I think the third thing said.
That's perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Great.
I love that.
I hope it translates as well as it did to you two to the rest of the world.
Well, very simple. I'm here for it.
It's just tricky, man.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's an interesting world. How about we get this sixth and final beer going?
Let's do it.
Right
So
down
this
to the
was,
coffee crisp.
It's coffee crisp. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
I thought it was O. Henry.
Do you wish it was?
No, not at all.
I don't. I'd much rather it be coffee crisp.
What are you trying to say?
Yeah,
That
me
is that you are an O. Henry bigot.
Yep. Yep. I'm not going to argue with that. I'd much rather it be coffee crisp.
Wow, how dare you? No, this is a banger. It looks like I did have this one, which is great. I had this for last. I guess I did it. 2023 though. It's not the first time they've done it. All right. Shout out.
No, in fact, didn't we even do
on the pod?
not 2023 because we had Greg on for Halloween in 2024. That must have been a different roller.
I had this 29th of October 2023.
Oh, Greg's been on here?
Yeah. No, we didn't do this one on the pod.
Okay, so not on the pod. So for those who don't know, Counterpart's roller series are their 6% oatmeal stout series that are modeled after different candy bars, and this one is the Canadian classic coffee crisp with coffee cacao, vanilla wafer, and our good friend lactose. You know,
And a very rare
Get it in,
series.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I love it. Ben
A
is
very
fuck-
rare series in that it's an
Yeah,
adjunct
show 'em, Benny.
stout below 8%.
Yeah, right. This is honestly one of the most
Oh
fun
man, that's
beer series in Ontario, I would say.
have to
Really,
agree.
what
And
was the
to
thing
your
about?
point, Nate, like no one makes shit like this that's a reasonable percentage.
Yeah,
Which is
Exactly.
a little wild, and that's why I snatch them up when they come through. It's just like, yeah, cool, fun, adjunct, tasty, not imperial, great.
let's
Yep.
go. Yeah,
Which I have to assume other people think about.
I think so. Particularly
I
when they're
think so,
done, when they're executed so well. I feel like at this point, Counterpart have a reputation and a uber positive reputation, for this style of beer.
Cheers,
Gentlemen,
friends.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, you got that? Oh, nice.
Got
choice.
another fucking branded glassware. God damn you, Nate. You just was it every beer? Did you have every beer branded?
No, it was not. No, it was not every beer. It was so three
It was
of them.
4 of
3 of them
6,
were
though.
branded. 3 of them
Three.
were branded. I had Counterpart, Bandit, and Wood Brothers, and then
should
I
have
had
Wood
the
Brothers one
I
too.
had the Arabella glass for for Burdock, and then it was
We'll call that. For
what was it? Then it was a Zenon glass and a Gather glass for the for the two.
you had a mug. You had a
lagers.
mug for the lager.
Yes.
So you were still like style appropriate.
So
Yes,
yeah,
still style appropriate.
we always try
Yeah.
to say style appropriate, but like honestly, even for me, Ben, Nate pisses me off sometimes with the level of
No,
branded
I just
glassware
feel
he
so
comes through.
unprepared. Yeah.
No, don't. I
totally.
don't want you to feel that way because he didn't mean that. He just flexes on everybody. Okay, it's what he does. He has a glassware fetish. He is a problem. And you know, and we just over here we just deal with it. We just let him
It
do
could
his
have
thing.
been a bit of a better back and forth if I had known that Nate came this prepped.
Yeah,
know?
you know what?
It could have been
I
a bit of a like a game could have been a slight more bit competitive if I
Well,
was aware.
I kind of feel like this is clearly not going to be the last time, right? So the next time when
Exactly.
you plan
I
this
had
out,
no right.
maybe we could
The
actually
second
get
time.
maybe we could get
It'll be
Zenon.
so different the second time.
Oh yeah.
It'll be the
Oh,
most
man.
different.
it's about
Ben's-
to be
Ben's gonna come fucking armed next time.
Like, watch out. Watch
He's gonna be
out.
what?
Second,
He's gonna
second interview,
change
watch out.
t-shirts and hat every single beer. He's like, wait, can we pause between every beer because I need to get
Costumes.
changed?
Masks. I will paint the
Oh.
walls behind me.
Like we're gonna be a
There'll be-
35-minute gap between every beer. We're gonna be like,
You
Ben,
thought
dude,
you knew
it's
one
3 a.m.
cat of mine? There will be
Oh.
6 different cats that none of which are my own.
None. Not a
And that-
single one.
That is how I will win.
Oh, Ben's determined for next time.
Yeah, you're in trouble, Nate.
Oh yeah,
There's no
Ben's
way.
coming for
There's
me.
no way.
Your glassware's over. That piece of shit, Nate. Fuck, pissed me off. But yeah, this is a great 6% oatmeal stout. No matter how much of a piece of shit it is.
Back to the beer. That's what we're
Back
here
to
for.
the beer. Look at that.
Yeah, that
this
little
is, This
beauty.
is a banger.
That little beauty.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Nah, she goes hard. Yeah, nah. It's this is a slapper. So all of the roller series
Stout
is
is.
great. Oh, did you say stout as? Oh, stout is, bro. I don't know if that's really a thing.
I
Would you
did.
say that?
I
It
don't
says,
know. I
oh,
was
it's
putting out
heaps
there.
good, eh, bro? Nah, I like it. Stout is. How's the beer? Stout is, bro. Oh, it's so stouty. It's stout is. Yeah, no, that could work.
Okay,
Like,
good.
Like
Yeah.
no one would really do that if I'm honest with you, but at the same token, it doesn't matter.
They
Don't worry
might
about that.
hear it and accept it, and it
Yeah,
go.
and it could become a
Yeah,
thing.
maybe they'll adopt it.
And then
Right.
you're changing culture, like Arabella Park is in the Kitchener, Ontario region, with their beautiful blue wall and the wonderful menu and the incredibly curated craft beer menu that is always available for people who come in, whether it's -26 on January 29th or whether it's, fucking plus
Canada Day
20
weekend.
odd
Canada Day
May
weekend.
8th.
Gang, great day.
Yeah, look how you tied that all together. That was brilliant.
Look at it.
Just be open to new things.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Mhm. You are. That's exactly what you're saying.
You silly fuck.
This is honestly a little looser than I thought it was going to be. And I'm like, when the pods get a bit looser, like let's fucking go. I think at this point, 3 hours and 5 minutes in, people are like, oh, it's like that, guys. I'm like, yeah.
Do people listen to this long? Do you think?
Well, my guess is they do. I don't know if we really have metrics that tell us that, but I think they do, because even the way I listen to podcasts is just in like pieces. Like you just listen whenever you get a chance to listen. No, I don't skim through. As in like I'm driving, so I'll listen to podcasts, and then I'll be washing the dishes, so I'll put a podcast on to do that. Whenever I'm like doing,
we don't listen to all of it.
No, I listen to all of it every single time. Every podcast I listen to, all of it, all the time.
But you're not doing dishes for the length of.
No, but you do it. Okay,
no.
Like,
you take it in sessions.
In sessions. So, like, in the shower, I just put the thing in the shower, or if I'm shaving.
Yeah.
So, particularly when I'm doing stuff with my hands, I can't be on a computer, because when you're on a computer doing shit, I can't concentrate because people are talking. I need people not talking. I need like music. So then, if I'm shaving, like, all right, cool, boom, and then I'm gonna shower right afterwards. So then I'll keep the podcast playing, and then you shower, and then you do the thing. So like that's a go. Oh, then I'm driving things with my hand. I can't do anything else if I'm driving. Podcast perfect for the car, more so than music personally. Like I had to drive around a lot this week. I had 3 brew days for our collabs in a row, and I was driving an insane amount. So I'm listening to buds. I'm going crazy. So I'd listen to history podcasts and learning about the full history of Israel and Palestine right now. It's fucking bonkers. Yeah, it's very intense, and I don't really. It's too much. It's a lot. But I was like, yeah, let's switch it up, do something different. So anyway, I think for these long ass beer pods, that's what people do.
I gotta come back on something for a second here.
Yeah.
Do you shave before showering?
Yeah. What do you do? Do you do it afterwards when all of their hair is going to be everywhere? You have to wash the hair out,
bro. No, after you have a hot shower, your pores open up. It makes shaving so much easier.
Right, but then you've got shit everywhere, and you have to go and wash it.
So just wash your fucking face afterwards.
Yeah, it's fine. It works good. Do you know what I do after a shower is like I trim my nails, because then it's soft. After being in a shower.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
same for the hair.
You know what? I get it.
Okay, Ben, back me up on this. Do you shave after showering?
Guys, we all have beards. I feel like we should be having the same conversation. We should all be shaving just our necks, because I think that's all we shave. Maybe
up here. You trim this. You keep your shit strong, and you do the little bit under your nose and keep the fucking mustache kind of fly.
Yeah,
sure. The neck part.
Yeah.
In the shower.
Where's the mirror, bro?
Oh yeah. Okay. Holy shit. Okay. So we've got 3 separate approaches here.
Oh, you are an insane person.
Whoa. Okay, that is wild.
You just guide that razor the whole way across your underbelly of beard.
Oh god.
Wow.
And that's it.
Wow, that's wild.
You were a crazy person. Okay, but what about the other stuff?
Easy.
Well, I'm probably
the other stuff you need a mirror for, like upper cheek. You need a mirror for that.
Okay, what about the mechanical implements such as the nasal hair trimmer and the ear trimmer? Because I don't want to look like a fucking wildebeest, so I keep that shit.
Don't bring a battery operated anything into the shower.
Right. So you need a mirror. You need a mirror.
Also, you need to be outside of water.
Also that.
Yeah.
I'm just checking. So what do y'all do?
Part. Come on. Do you guys keep a razor in the shower or no?
Fuck no. It's in the drawer. In the drawer where it belongs.
No.
So I mean I do keep I do keep a razor in the shower, but like everything from here up,
why do you keep the razor in the shower?
I do at the sink.
But
to
why you
shave
keep the razor
your
in the
neck?
No, like
to
everything from here is at the sink.
But why is it in the shower? Is it so it's like warm
because
and gets
that's where I shave my neck.
Yeah, for you. But Nate, you said you keep one in the shower.
Well, like this I do in the shower.
Razor? You razor that shit?
Yes.
I use Manscaped, you fucking psycho.
Really? I have never once cut myself shaving my pits in the shower.
I've never shaved my pits in my life. I use Manscaped, the little buzzy thing. Like,
No,
Why are we
man.
shaving our pits, boys?
A razor works fine. It works fine.
I feel like, that's intense. This is very funny. This is not where I thought this convo was going.
This will be edited.
No, it's not being edited. At
Oh,
all.
this is not being edited.
Oh no, the world is getting this, Benny. Don't you worry about that. Everyone's hearing about it. We're gonna.
Why are you shaving your pits, Nate?
No, I
shave.
Hang on. With
I need to know.
shave it with I trim, not shave. Like trim.
You do, but Nate, you said you bring a razor in the shower for
Yeah,
your,
I do.
You made this motion.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
So that's
you're
what my
talking
question
up
is.
down.
No, it's mostly because it's mostly because I go to yoga classes and I wear a tank top and I don't want to have a big bush on display is mostly the thing.
Okay, fair. Okay,
I respect that.
That's why you do it, and you do it outside of the shower.
No, I do it in the shower.
That makes sense. Why don't you shave your underneck in the shower also?
It's because I can see this in the shower. I can't see this in the shower.
Guideline: use the finger.
But what if you fuck
No, man. I need a sharp line here. I need to see that shit.
I couldn't do it.
Don't we all? You could just try. You could. The worst that happens is you touch it up when you get out of the shower. But the bulk of it in the shower, hot water.
What if you get frisky,
hair stuffed,
and you go too hard?
With a razor?
I mean, you could jerk off with a razor. Sorry, when I say frisky, what if you go up a little too far and you do one of them joints where it's like you just fucking hit the big bush of hair? Fuck.
No, I can't handle that.
That's what I'm saying. Then when you see the barber, you're like,
bleed out.
Well, I'm not worried about bleeding out as much as like, fuck, the barber can't fix this for another 2 weeks or whatever till my next appointment. Shit. Now I gotta look like a dickhead who can't shave. Like,
I see. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You take risks way more reasonably than I do. In my
maybe
my
that's
figurative
what it
head.
is.
Right.
Yeah. No, I get it though. No, I definitely want to give respect to both.
I just think it's it's not hard to prevent what you're saying, Cee, from happening.
Okay.
Guys, I'm just saying. You put this here. You put
the
razor here.
And you just follow that shit.
There's a whole fucking guideline with your own finger. It's kind of like it slicing your neck, which is weird. But
it is a bit weird. Do you put cream on? Do you put like shaving cream? You
no,
raw
in the
dog
shower,
it?
no.
You
in the shower, yeah.
Whoa.
It's hot. It's hot. It's steamy. It's fine. It's hot. It's steamy. It's fine.
Dog. Okay. Nate, are you raw dogging your pits, bro?
No.
That's a better question.
No. I'm using body wash as like
body wash,
cream.
not even proper shaving cream. I use Clinique Clinique, this like foam shit that like it's like liquid. Then you go and it makes it foam.
No, I use shaving cream on my neck and on my cheeks, but body wash does fine for the pits. Jesus,
this is very funny.
You just need a lather. It's a lubricant. Right?
Exactly.
I don't know about that, guys. You Caesar effed.
We're learning so much about each other tonight. My God.
This all emphasizes the OS of BAOS.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Oh my God. Who knew we were going to get to this point at 3 hours and 13 minutes?
None of us.
I was hoping
absolutely
so.
0%. Yeah,
0% chance. This is a beautiful.
Cee and I are learning shit about each other tonight. Like, you know, learning shit about the guest, like that we were just speaking to for the first time. That's normal. But but now Craig and I are learning stuff about each other too.
About each other. Who saw that coming?
Yeah, who would have thought? And I think Ben, you are the conduit. You really just made it happen.
You brought this out in us.
Yeah, now we both don't like pineapple on pizza, but then we also know we both shave very differently.
Right.
It's a different
needs
vibe.
To send shaving cream to the other, and see how your habits improve or stay stagnant.
Oh, that's it. Just keep it the same. Don't worry about it.
But I
It's
think,
gonna be okay.
but I think there's one. I think one takeaway here, even though we all have different approaches to to shaving our beards. Like Craig, I think you're wrong for shaving before you shower.
Dude,
I
you have to
get
agree
it.
with that.
I know,
Yes.
okay, because I get a hot towel shave at my barber every time I go. So
Right,
The
and
hot
and
towel
why
is
does
the
that
shower.
work?
get it.
Because the heat opens your pores. You
I
got to
get
do it
it.
after you shower,
He
man.
gets it.
It's just,
He
do you
gets
know what
it.
it is? If I'm like, no, I don't. I absolutely understand what you guys are saying. Sorry, like I very much understand it. So then, let me just put my other objection out there. And this is, if this is way too much information, guys, just skip forward. I'm sure we'll probably get off this eventually. Like, if I'm gonna go in the shower, so therefore my beard is going to be wet, and then say if I come out of the shower, I'm like, all right, now I'm gonna shave. Like, boom. Because what I do, I start with the nasal thing and I go right up, and because I used to get, I don't know about you guys because I'm fucking old, but I'll have like these random gray hairs that used to just be like all of a sudden in like overnight, it's like 3 fucking centimeters long coming out of my nose. So I got the nasal hair shit. So I'm going boom. Now, if my nose is all wet, I can't be using that mechanical device on that bitch. And then the ears, and then I also shave around my lips because I hate hair in my mouth. So I also use the nasal hair trimmer. That's the plug, gentlemen. I use it around those little gaps between your lips and the hair and shit. So I use that shit. Then I got the little joint where you like trim the under the mustache by your lips. So I'm doing that. Now, if my whole beard is wet, that's really not going to be that practical. That's going to be fucked up. And the problem is when you're doing that shit, and then I brush the shit down, the beard down. And I'm like, oh, where are my little straggly bits? And I'm like, boom, 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 boom. So them bitches go everywhere. So then now I got all these straggly bits. I got shit all up in my beard and stuff from that. I'll go and trim. And then I got to blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
How many tools do you have?
nasal hair, other trimmer, razor. 3, just the 3. Oh, 4, because I got the raw dog one. You know the raw dog one? That's like the flat. You know the flat
No.
one. You know, like for the dudes. What do they call a man without a beard? A woman. So the people who like don't have a beard, and they shave. I'm joking. But you know the one, the thing. What's them called? What's them shavers called? Like a shaver that like shaves the whole thing.
Like a buzzer? Like
No,
a
what's it-
trimmer?
It's not a trimmer. It's like this flat
Down
metal.
to the wood.
Fuck, it's the brand's called Wahl, WAHL, and it's a Wahl. It's not a clipper. It's like a, I don't know, hair trimmer, and it's like a, oh fuck, man, I don't know. My barber uses
like a
it.
straight razor? Straight razor.
No, it's not a straight razor. This thing, Wahl Professional Vanish Shaver, cordless, pop foil bars. That's what I have. So it's the thing where, say, if you want a 0. Like you would, if you wanted a 0 around, if you wanted no hair, you would just shave with this thing. You didn't even have to use.
So you just mean like a beard trimmer?
No, it's different.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Okay, I'm gonna have I can send it to y'all on here. Check it on the on this fucking the chat on the thing. This is the Amazon link. I just found one. That's basically what I have. It's called a Wahl Professional 5-star Vanish Shaver, cordless with pop foil bars, ergonomic design, blah blah blah. And it's like a thing where the barber would shave the back of your neck with it. They shave the bit between your beard and the fade with it.
So you just want it to be like as close.
Oh, okay.
That thing. What's that called? What do you call it? Can you see it, Ben?
Yes.
You know
I can see it, and I actually don't even have a name for it. Like my barber uses this to trim the back of my neck. I don't even know what to call it.
So it's that thing. So I use that for the above the mustache under the nose, and I use it for between my sort of ear and the fade. So I always keep that like, because when I wear the hat, you can't tell even as it grows out a little bit. You use that to keep it like, as when I say raw dog, like as close to the skin as possible.
Well, it's hardcore to have one of those at home. I don't have one of those.
Yeah, because I'm not a pussy hole. That's what the fuck is going on out here. Okay, this is some serious shit. Okay, it's not a fucking game out here. All right, we shaving, Nate. We shaving out here, bro. We keep this beard trim as fuck.
He's
Okay.
got it. He's got it in all
Anyway.
possible aspects. He's got it.
Yeah, but apparently you like you do these like cold dry shaves like before you get in the shower. I don't fucking understand.
Cold dry.
that.
Because
It's
I
crazy.
put hot water on my shit, and the hot water is fine. I put the hot water, and it soothes it up a bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to be in the shower for 10 minutes to be able to come out and shave, and then have to fucking shower again. I'm
Bro,
not
just use all of your plug-in shit before your shower, then take a shower, and then
So it's a
and then
two-step
fucking shave
shaving.
after.
So you want
Yes.
me to do a 2-step shaving program?
How is that? But how is that
Oh,
more
yeah.
steps overall? It's the same number of steps. You're just doing one of them before the shower, one of them after.
So you're making me separate it. Look, you know
Yes.
what? For the sake of
For
this,
your own good.
I'll try it. Do you know what? My shaving days are Sunday and Thursday. Thursday is tomorrow. Today, no, it's today. I'm gonna fucking do it today. And if it doesn't, I'm gonna email you both as soon as it's done. I'm gonna be like,
With
boys,
pictures.
I'll film the whole fucking thing. I'll text it to you both.
Perfect. Perfect.
I'll get your. I think I have your number actually, Ben. So I'm gonna text you both. We'll get a group
Pretty
chat
sure you
going.
do, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think we exchanged
Yeah.
numbers. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
text you both the visual. Okay.
The before and
we're
after.
gonna- The before and after. I'm gonna see how it felt. I'm gonna be like, all right, if it was better, I'll be like, guys, I'm willing to concede that this is a superior shaving method. Now, it's nothing that
Okay.
it never even crossed my mind until now. And
Right.
you know, I get it.
Which will be the finger test method? Is that
Oh,
what
no,
we're
I can't.
testing?
No, I can't do that, bro. I can't do that. That's insane. That's insane person shit. I
Well,
could
what
go
are we
in.
testing? What's the
Okay, I could do
superior
the
thing?
mechanical pre-shower, then you shower,
Okay.
then you get
Yeah.
out of the shower, and then you do the
neck.
physical shave, the neck,
Yes.
the chin,
Yes.
and the above thingo, and then I'm gonna
Yes,
have
yes,
to
yes,
on
yes,
the
yes.
sink, which dirties up the sink more, but probably get some sort of
That's why
like
you
soap
do it in
situation.
the shower.
But what about the above part?
No, that part you
Da- da-
can't
da-
do, but the under the neck you can do
Or what
in the
you
shower.
could
This
do-
part,
okay,
you're not
or
agreeing
the
to
solution.
that. It's uncomfortable for you. You'll get there eventually.
This is an advanced level shit, bro. You could not even possibly understand what we need.
To anyone
You don't get it.
To the remaining like 3 or 4 listeners who are still listening at like after we've been talking about men's grooming for the last half hour, like
open-ended
thank you for
bullshit.
sticking around, but also what are you
Yeah.
doing? Why are you still listening? I
Why-
don't even understand.
It is
Yeah.
bonkers. Get a mirror in the shower, then we could talk. If I had a mirror in the shower, oh fuck! Now my goddamn shit broke.
Oh, you know what? That's the answer. That's the answer. Right
Mirror
there.
in the motherfucking shower. Then I will try Ben's method because
But
then,
bro, that shit is gonna steam up like crazy.
well, then that's the other
That's
problem. So
also
then, how do
true.
you keep that doing? Then do you need
You
one
go
of those
like this.
special ones? You have to keep touching it and rubbing it. Oh, dude. This is
A
getting-
non-fog mirror?
Let's wrap this up. No,
No, I'm not you. I'm talking the mirror. You got to keep wiping the mirror. When I say rub the mirror off. Oh my goodness, you dirty prick. What is your problem?
The mirror. He was only
mirror.
also talking about the mirror.
You guys are fucked. This is a family podcast.
Bring your kids.
Yes, to Arabella Park. Ben, this is awesome, man.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
It is awesome. I was
It is
trying to
awesome.
bring this. I was trying to distract from all the craziness of the last 20 minutes and bring this home.
Bring it
But
back. Steve. Bring it back.
bring it back.
it
That's
home.
what they.
Bring it home.
That's what they call me. That's
Bring
what
it
they call
home.
me. Bring it home. Bring it home. That's what I do. So Ben, honestly, brother, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for this phenomenal lineup of curated beers. I really think you did justice to the lineup that you guys, you know, the types of breweries that you can find at Arabella Park and some of your faves, obviously, from this glorious province of Ontario and what we have to offer here. And for just shedding some light on what you guys do and the ethos behind what you do, from the food to the service to the vibes to the big, beautiful blue ass wall and the Stillwell connection and what has really contributed to Kitchener, man. We appreciate you. We're both big fans of everything you guys are doing. I think you guys are an absolutely essential element to craft beer that needs to thrive and needs to be around. And every brewery, I think, would echo that. And I just think it's a beautiful thing, man. Just keep doing it. Clearly, you got passion. If you came in at the level that you did and then ended up worked your way up and became an owner and then just keep dominating it and becoming kind of like the face of it is just phenomenal, man. I appreciate you immensely. I know we both do. And thank you for taking the time to do this. And this will be the first of many pods, obviously.
Absolutely. And thank you for being a good sport with all of our bullshit.
The bullshit was
pineapple. Fun. The bullshit was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. I had a
the bullshit was
time.
Definitely fun.
This was a lot of fun.
Craig, thanks for saying all that, man. That was really nice. I take that to heart. I think everything that I said, I mean, and it was really nice to hear that giving back a little bit in your conclusion there. And it was really good to chat with you all, and it's good to have someone to just talk industry shit with, So it's cool. I hope there's another one. It was great.
No, we really appreciate you, you coming on, man. And I echo everything that Craig said, and we've absolutely got to have you back on because this was a great time.
Cool. Yeah, this was fun. I hope we all had fun. Did we all have fun?
Hell yeah! I think we
sure
all had
did.
fun.
We sure did.
And I hope we all learned something. I hope we all learned alternative ways to maintain your body. For the gentleman out there, and for maybe everyone else might be able to take some little tips from that and just pick and choose from what they like.
Nose hairs in the future.
I'm telling you, the last thing you want is them gray. All of a sudden, you're like, "What is that?" And it's this fucking long ass gray thing that's like weird and flat because gray hair grows hella weird. And they're like, "What are you doing? Why is this here?" Then you pluck it out. You're like, fuck, this hurts." Or you can just trim that bitch fucking once or twice a week. You're good to go. Don't have to worry about it. You don't look like grandpa. Everyone's happy. So that's what I'm saying. I hope.
I tell you what, if we get blown up with with comments on on beard grooming, we're gonna get a really good sense of how many people listen all the way through the pod.
I hope if someone is listening, comment on whether it's Spotify or YouTube or anywhere else, comment and just say something about the grooming and give us your take on it. Let us know because maybe the three of us are wrong or maybe one of us is right. Or
I'd like to hear better way.
Yeah, if there's a better way, I think that's what we're here for. Because we're all trying to share the way that we all feel is superior, but maybe someone else has a way that they feel is superior that's even different to the three of us. So, we can all learn from it, and that's what it's all about.
Just say so.
Just tell us. It's okay. We can take it. We're big gentlemen.
Please.
Ben, where can everybody find Arabella Park online and in real life?
In real life, 740 Belmont Avenue West, Kitchener, Ontario. Online at arabellaparkbar.com. Our socials are Arabella Park. And those are the three avenues that you can choose to come find us and enjoy beer and good food. And I hope that you all do. It'd be great. It'd be great to see everyone. Please do.
Absolutely. If you're in this part of the world, definitely pass by. If you need an excuse to get to Kitchener-Waterloo, then that is the bat signal right there. Get down. At the end of the day, you want the selfie in front of the blue wall. That's what you want.
Yes, you do.
Not
You'd
to
be
mention
happy about it.
That's the bare minimum. Not to mention the beer and the food and the vibes, and it's what's up. So Ben, stick around. We'll finish up afterwards. But thank you so much, brother, for taking the time and doing this. This is awesome. This is something Nate and I kind of talked about for a while. We wanted to have you on and show some love to what you guys are doing because it's once again incredibly important. I think these days, craft beer is in an interesting place, and you guys have been stalwarts of the industry for the last 8 years, and hopefully that's another 80 years. God damn it, let's go. Stick around afterwards. Yeah, absolutely, brother. I love it. Stick around afterwards. We'll finish up off air. But thank you again, Ben, for joining us. Everybody, thank you for watching and listening. It is no, Ben. It's our pleasure.
It's our pleasure, man.
Can you see Nate? Look at that pleasure. Look at that face. Is that pleasure?
It's your pleasure.
Thank you so much.
The pleasure is all yours.
Thank you very much.
That's right.
Mason, hey, how you doing? Yeah. Pleasure's yours. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you enjoyed the episode, smash the thumbs up, hit subscribe below, hit that notification bell, Nathaniel,
Ding.
so you know when the new drops. Follow us everywhere at BAOS Podcast, at Nathan Does Beer. Check out the long form audio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars, not for us, but for the 3 of our shaving routines. Don't worry about anything else. I think 5 stars are worth these shaving routines and just sharing this with the world. Maybe some of us are right, maybe some of us are wrong, but we're sharing, we're putting it out there, and we're learning, and we're growing together, and we appreciate y'all. Guys, we'll see you in the next one. Peace, y'all.
Cheers.